You are listening to Shoot and Scoot, the Flames of War Team Yankee Federation Arm and Great War podcast that tries to make sense of the weird and wonderful world of 15mm wargaming with our tongues foaming in our cheeks, our pants as flat to the ground, and our dice, more often than not, failing to shoot and scoot every episode. We invite you to join us on our many hobby misadventures on Facebook and on the blog at breakthroughassault.co.uk, slowing down like a record. And to shop online at Battlefield Hobbies, because Hammy has not replied to my messages.
I told you he's
redacted.
Yep.
If nice dice are your advice, then be sure to check out Dice of War, our dice sponsor here at Shoot and Scoot. And if you need bunkers to bust or autobahns to go too fast on, then also head over to frontlineterrain.square.site, our awesome terrain sponsor.
Terrain.
If you'd like to contribute to this continued fair cross-check of the podcast, you can also become a Patreon supporter by following the link on the Breakthrough Assault blog. Pay £1 a month for your chance to also become internet famous. I'm Eddie Fez Turner, broadcasting from somewhere in the south of England. I'm joined by my co-host Duncan. Curtis LeMay is my spirit animal, Gosling.
bombs away. Yeah.
And Lee, too many challenges, Parnell.
Oh, yeah, I got 99 challenges, that's for sure.
And that's the problem.
Welcome to episode 96, the one where Duncan paints more Basij. Lee, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight, we'll be doing Internet Famous, including doing our T-shirt draw.
Woo!
That's something we're going to be doing for a while. I'm actually finally remembered to
I've
do.
got my pen and paper ready.
Okay. We're going to be doing Places Bases, what we've been painting. We'll probably be skipping news on the front because none of us actually have played games since the last episode.
I've played like 125 games in my head. Does that count?
We'll discuss that in the event section, but yeah, we get to ETC prep.
Oh, secret, top secret.
I've got a game tomorrow, but that's no good for.
No, go on, future cast it, predict it.
We'll have the Wargaming forecast.
The Wargaming
I'm
forecast.
playing Nathan, so it's going to be a horrible loss to me. I suspect.
In news from tomorrow's front, we'll talk about the game and how and your predictions for how it will go down, and then we'll see how it goes next episode.
As we open up a new front. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll then be doing Nordic Ewan Who's Army. We'll then be doing Patron.
You missed a trick not to see what that is in Scandinavian.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. What do you mean Scandinavian? That's not a language, Eddie. I hate to break it to you, but they're separate countries.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden tried to make them not separate countries, but
Yeah.
yeah.
My good lord.
We remember before you were neutral Sweden, you can't get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. You had a general who's called the Great. I mean, a king. Sorry, that was called the Great. You don't get a free pass.
Yes, and then we'll be doing a Patreon Officer Answers, and then we'll look at events, and then we'll shoot and scoot. So, Internet Famous. No new patrons.
I was going to say.
No new patrons this week. So all our current patrons are just enjoying the hangout that is Monty's Meat Grinder on Discord.
Oh, I'm going to throw a hello out to Harry on the Discord, who we had a chat to last night, who took the shade I was throwing his way amicably, I think.
Were you throwing shade again?
I was throwing a lot of shade. It was work-related aviation shade. It was pretty good.
Dear.
Yeah, Eddie made a mistake of saying what his day job was.
What, pole dancer?
Shh, Duncan.
Anyway, sorry.
Sorry, that's his night job. Yeah, night job.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we had a busy session on the old painting channel last night. It was quite good.
It was good. The best bit was Mike Everest getting more and more excited about different shades of houses he can paint.
Like, of soft brown turd. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to remind him that the past is more colourful than we often think. I sent him this big long article, which is basically a whole bunch of pre-Great War photos of Paris taken with a very early colour film process.
Oh, okay,
yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah, Luminen process, I think it was called. Named after.
It wasn't an autochrome. Autochrome was something they used.
Maybe it was a variation of that, but it's just interesting because all these hotels and bars are like very colourful, low, like a lower floor, and it'd be like whitewash first and second floor. The shutters would be a different colour on the ground floor to the top floor.
I always thought the past was black and white.
No, that's Michael Jackson. There's a topical reference for the kids. Yeah,
Michael
Jackson. Yeah, exactly. Who?
There's a generation of kids who have no idea who Michael Jackson is, and that's just a
I
worrying
know, that's
thing.
scary, isn't it? Hey, I'm in a different bracket now. I made a Johnny Briggs. Do you remember Johnny Briggs? I
Was he one of the Great Train Robbers?
wish he was. No, he was that Northern Kids TV show. Do you not remember that?
Like a Grove.
No, that was Jeff and PG
Like,
and Dawn.
Jeff Mon, your beard's on fire?
Grove.
He's definitely on a list as well, old Jeff.
The whole
Allegedly.
generation of kids that
everyone
learned
is.
the importance of eye protection in paintball at that
Yeah,
age. that's for
exactly.
sure.
I remember that watching that on TV. I'm also waiting for Mr. Tumble to come on a list and destroy my faith in everybody.
Oh, and Mr. Maker.
Yep. And Morph.
Yeah.
Morph probably is involved.
Oh no, Morph got touched by Tony Hart.
Repeatedly in all the places.
Repeatedly, exactly.
Darren, Google Morph, Morph. You'll love it.
Yep.
Morph Rule 34.
Yep. It would probably remind
Morph.
you of most of the junior officers you've served with.
It's a bit like the who's the fat guy? The little Pillsbury Doughboy. It's a bit like
Yeah,
that,
but
isn't it?
Morph wasn't really fat. He was quite true.
No, Morph wasn't. It was ticklish.
Was he not?
No, it was quite slender.
Yeah.
He
Ticklish.
could change shape, hence the name Morph.
Oh, I see what they did there.
Yeah, see?
Clever.
There you go.
Clever.
The penny finally drops.
Yep.
Anyway,
What were we saying? Yeah.
sorry.
Meanwhile, back at the
This
point.
could be one of those episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like to say our patrons get access to the Discord. They get to ask us questions. The patron officer answers, and also
They get listened to this early.
they get this to it early. They wonder what they paid. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pay for the privilege. Listen to us now a day early. Yep. To see
I need to see the raw
regret it longer.
footage.
Yeah, and also we like to say we're doing a T-shirt draw now, once a quarter, and so having put all the names to a big Excel sheet, probably broken data security laws by doing that.
GDPR.
That's it.
Yeah.
Can you put Bill Gates in there and see if Excel automatically randomly picks him every time?
Oh, yeah. And Steve Jobs, where it just sets it on fire.
Yeah, just deliver wins.
Just deletes it. Oh wait, that's a
Right,
cancer.
So how many? Oh, Jesus! Oh, God's sake!
Terrain.
Right, yeah.
Pull up.
Okay, so the draw. Quickly to the draw.
The draw. So we the names spat out by our fancy high tech AI Chat GPT run system is Battle Razor, one of our early patrons. So.
Yeah, so get in touch on Discord when you hear this, and we will furnish you with a appropriately sized design.
Yeah, and we shall send it out to you.
No,
thanks, everyone.
We're sourcing with it.
Yeah, that'll be it.
That's it. So the next one's going to be what? October? That's a bit scary to think about.
Yeah, but October. So I'll try and remember to do it on one of the October episodes.
We're doing quarterly.
Yeah, quarterly. Yeah.
Oh, that's easy.
We've not made the money. When we get to 100 patrons, we'll start doing it on an episode basis.
I had a quarterly review meeting today, so that's easy. And I'll just link the two together in my brain. I'll never forget.
Oh, hold on. See when on your objectives list it's giveaway T-shirt.
Yeah, it will be. They'll be like,
okay.
"What's this doing on here?" Oh, don't worry about that.
That's just an aide-memoire.
Yeah.
It's a mnemonic.
Yeah. On to Faces Bases. Duncan, how many Basij have you painted?
I'm currently painting
What?
13 Basij. The Basij are back.
Is it 13 Basij or is it one 13-year-old Basij?
It both are correct, and also not correct at the same time. Yeah. So I'm currently looking at those. They're doing a bit of Basij action. I've also painted some old men, some young men, and some mediocre men, medium-sized men.
On so many lists.
So so we've got some HJ, they're done. Some Volksturm, they're done, and I found a ballista pack of metal late war Panzer Grenadiers. So they got done in.
You found those?
Yeah, I found them in a drawer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Score.
Yeah.
Classic
This
models.
Excel
I was like,
sheet
do you know what?
you did, where all the things you had. Was it a very good Excel sheet? I'm just going to put it out.
Oh
there.
no, it's an exceptional Excel sheet. The problem is it's data entry, and I get bored.
Yeah.
So there's only so much.
Too much like work.
Exactly, and then it's only because I was looking at it going, these are all metal. Wouldn't it be nice if I had some metal Panzer? Hold on, I'm sure I had some metal Panzer Grenadiers. Better have a ferret. So I had a ferret. Found them.
I've got a retirement goal of finding all of my metal models.
And then just selling them.
The point that I retire, calculating, because I have loads of spare time when you retire, obviously, when I'm like 105 years old.
I was going to say, you live in Britain, right?
Exactly, right.
Let's say
I'm 105.
Yeah, so.
I'm going to calculate.
Oh no, you're never retiring. That's the point.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why it's a fanciful, it's a thought exercise.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
No.
Schrodinger's hobby.
Eddie's got a cushy civil service life now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's true.
You're part of the system.
Yeah, I'll just put the fees up and then I'll retire earlier. Good job. See, thanks. See, Lee, that's why we need people like you.
Yeah.
I'm going to count back all of my metal models and figure out how much glue goes in each one, and then try to work out how much glue I've bought and how much does it actually cost to glue all of those metal models to the base. Because I reckon,
and this advert for euthanasia is brought to you by.
They'd be like, I could have, owned a house.
Somewhere Tasty is now dreading for retirement.
Yeah.
How was it going through? So sat there doing weird calculations.
Why do we need to know this? Shut up.
Shut up.
No one asked you. Let me count.
Alexa, how much money have I wasted on super glue?
Go on, ask her. I dare you.
I'm not sure about that.
She said she's not sure about that.
Useless. She's never sure of anything.
No,
she's
exactly.
the most non-committal AI. Everyone else is trying to take over the world. Alexa's like, well, I could do, but
Well, the difference
between
between
the human race. Not sure.
Yeah.
The difference between her and most millennials is eventually she does actually do something.
Oh, don't do that. That's not nice. You can't pick on millennials.
You are a millennial.
I'm not a millennial.
I am.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. He doesn't know who Johnny Briggs is.
Well,
honestly,
I've had my cake and I've eaten it, so why can't I have it?
Because just stop drinking coffees and you can afford to buy a house.
No, it's the avocado toast that got me.
Oh, there you go.
It's like Fabergé eggs, obviously.
That's how I bought my house. I gave up the cigarettes, the alcohol, and after a while saving, plus the parents paying the deposit, I managed to get a mortgage to get a house.
plus
the inheriting £350,000, I was able to afford the deposit on this 1-bedroom lock-up garage.
In Islington.
In John
that's something. That's something else. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something else. That's hobby lockup number X.
Yeah.
It's Site X.
Station X.
Site X-ray.
Site X.
So Basij, meanwhile, back at the point.
So I painted Basij. I painted HJ, Volksturm, and Tank Panzer Training Company figures.
You totally had that was all this week. Oh my god.
That was about 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks. It wasn't 1 week. And then I also painted an extra panther because I realised I needed 3 panthers and I only had 2 panthers, so I did one of those. So that was nice. And then I've got some Scottish ribalds for 100 Years War.
All right.
Some of them.
I was like, context is everything.
Yeah, context is important, and we'll leave it to the end of the sentence. And then that's the Basij being worked on actively. Although it is quite funny because I had to get some stands out and go, what colour did I paint these?
Oh god, need painting, guys.
Does it matter? Because it's like a militia.
For Basij, it probably doesn't matter.
Oh come on, now they've got different coloured headbands. I need to know which one's which. It's important.
Okay, to me, it's the basing. I always forget to write down.
Yeah, the basings. It's faces bases, right?
There you go. I always forget to write down how I've done the bases, and then I come back later and I'm like, I'm going to add an extra platoon to army. And I'm like, I can't remember how I did that.
You are absolutely not adding another platoon to that army because it all looks weird.
Yep.
Because the other thing is that sometimes they've changed like the paint formula or they've changed the flock colour.
Yeah.
Flock colour is my favourite as well. No, wait a minute. This isn't summer grass. This is summer... Who's changed the summer grass formula?
Summer grass, texture like sun.
Exactly. But no, that's what I'm currently working on whilst trying to not think about Swedish. I've got so much to paint. It's not depressing. That's not the right word. Overwhelming.
I am super excited to have a hobby desk.
Have you got space carved out already? Have you?
I have. I've got 3 different locations in my head, so at least hopefully one of them.
I was going to say you get one, right?
I get one. No, I get one, but hopefully or maybe like I'll migrate, because one of them is in the conservatory, because I think that'd be a great place to have a summertime work desk, and then to move it in the winter.
Or winter.
Well, yeah,
No.
either or. But
no, trust me, it's not a good place to have a hobby work desk in the summer.
But it's not a clear ceiling. It's a
no. It will still be hotter than hell. Your paint will dry up. It will annoy you.
Well, that's fine. I can move it. That's why I've got 3 locations.
Eddie, we're wargamers. Like, we don't like sunlight. How many times have I told you sunlight is a no-no?
Sun's bad.
True.
Sun's bad. Like, this is why, like, the glory days of the pandemic seemed like a very long time ago.
Is it 1 o'clock yet?
Yeah, didn't have to leave my house.
I miss those days. So you constantly texting us saying, "Is it 1 o'clock yet?"
Yeah, exactly.
I miss the days when 1 o'clock seemed like a late night. Now it's like, it's 3 a.m. I should probably go to bed. What is time? I don't know. No, it's fun.
So yeah, that's me. That's me done. I need to build some stuff actually, but I can never motivate myself to build.
We're
things.
like the polar opposites of hobby.
I know, we've said this before. I just can't. I can't be asked.
One day we'll combine our strengths and become
be
unstoppable.
like Captain Planet.
With our powers combined.
I choose heart. Really, you chose heart.
No. The Aztec guy chose heart. Just think about that.
Kalema. Did I talk about Indiana Jones last time?
No?
I don't think I did. I think I wanted to, and I forgot. So that's why I've reminded myself now. So I've not painted anything, but I did see the new Indiana Jones.
Okay.
And the bit I want to talk about very quickly, I'll use my Faces Basis time for this. One of the fun things as a rivet-counted military historian for the old original Indiana Jones was looking at the vehicles and what they've proxied them into and going, that's totally wrong. That would never exist. That's an RPG-7. Yeah. That's not a Panzerfaust, whatever. And also, it's 1939 or 38. Why have they got that? And that's a Zlin aircraft. That's not, it's a Polish late war or Czechoslovakian post-war training airplane. Like, why is that being used to proxy that particular 1938 German aircraft? And unfortunately, in the new one, they've actually got military historians. So most of the aircraft most of the vehicles and aircraft and kit is extremely accurate.
Why have they done that?
Because they've got budget now. And
it doesn't matter.
I know. I was like, oh man, I miss Germans running around with Tommy guns
and like the Last Crusade with that tank thing. I don't even know what that was supposed to be.
World War One British tank mock-up.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mock-up thing just for plot. And then the German the plane in the desert that spins around and hits the guy with the prop.
Oh yeah,
like a stork or something like that.
No, but it wasn't. It was a complete fabricated nonsense flying wing thing.
Yeah, because it had propellers backwards, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a pusher prop thing. Yeah,
pusher prop.
So in this one, they've kind of gone more accurate, and to me, that kind of lost a little bit of the charm. I'm not going to lie.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's still Hollywoodized stuff, which is quite funny.
Do you know what made me lose my charm with Indiana Jones?
What?
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Like the Crystal Souls. I mean,
I don't know, man. I mean, is part of it just the fact that it was the nostalgia of its time, and if you watch them again now for the first time, you'd be just as like, what the hell was this plot line? How has that guy been sat there for that long?
No, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade is faultless. Absolutely faultless. I
still think Jesus should have drunk out of that plate. That would have been hilarious.
A grail is a plate. It is a plate. A grail is a plate. This is the irony. He says all he drinks, like, it's a plate. That's where it comes from.
You guys, this would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You chose really poorly.
Spillage, sippage, Jesus.
They'll never suspect this. Yeah. I like to think it was like the dentist chair more than anything. Like with Gaza, where he just started necking Zambucas. Anyway, so Indiana Jones, don't go see that.
No, I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's still it's better than the Crystal Skull by far.
Yeah, but oh wow, let's really set that bar high,
that's what I'm saying. And I didn't not enjoy it. I didn't love it. I quite liked it.
Did you consider walking out at any
No.
point? Okay, well that's
what I mean. That's what I mean.
It's past the Erin Brockovich
yeah.
test.
There were
then,
bits
so,
where I was
right,
watching
okay.
it going, and you kind of find yourself analysing it a little too much because it's not.
Does Sean Connery pop up at any point and then say that he shagged Indiana Jones's current girlfriend?
Did he?
Yeah, in Last Crusade he did.
Good lad.
Yep. That's an entirely improvised line on Sean Connery's part, apparently.
Yeah. Yep. I watched it.
How knew she was German? She talks in her sleep, yes.
She talks in her sleep. I just want to watch them again now.
Don't watch Highlander. I made that mistake the other day.
Really?
Oh my god, it's dreadful.
The first one?
Yeah. It's a bit like that Eddie was saying. Like you watching it back and you think, okay, it's cheesy, but the tower implodes. Like he hits it with a sword and the bricks fall inwards. And you're like, what?
How does that work?
Magic. Although there is some glorious, obviously there's glorious bits in it. You know, just the idea that there's a Frenchman playing a Scotsman and
Clancy Brown eating the scenery, yes.
Exactly. And making suggestive leeries at nuns, you know. Oh.
So, Lee,
days.
what have you been painting?
Yeah.
I have been painting. I actually finished off all that Battletech start set.
What?
I painted 8 mechs.
Jeez, wait.
They're only tiny.
They're tiny,
but he does them well. That's the problem. I just like slap paint and then wash them.
I know, they are very nice.
But yeah, so I painted those.
They're very nicely.
And now I'm in the process of just assembling all the length armor stuff so I can get the comets painted, get their average painted, get the ram kangaroos painted. Which I decided.
So I can shoot them.
Yeah, it's like, because I don't really need rams outside of using them for warfare. I'm going to make them so I can take the tops off and swap the sexton bits back on. So I can use them as number 8 sextons.
Okay.
No, sorry, number 4 sextons. Join the 4 we have.
Say 8 sextons. Jesus.
Yeah, it probably won't use. It'll probably be used once a blue moon. That's like the idea of having a full battery.
Ram Transformers.
Yep.
I was tempted to try one by actually putting all the ram bits on just to make it look like I was going to do rams for warfare.
You should do ram tanks. Yeah. They're really good.
Ram man.
You don't know. You weren't there.
But yeah, so like I said, what I'm really just doing at the moment is assemble. Then next month I'll start.
Have you actually caved though? Then are you actually taking rams?
No, sorry, I'm taking ram kangaroos.
Yeah, sorry ram kangaroos. You taking the filthy option?
Yeah, well, it's warfare. It's got to have at least one thing that's historically inaccurate but gives me an advantage, right? So otherwise, I'm not taking it seriously.
What should they have? M5s?
Well, the infantry were just trucked, just lorried.
Oh, were they?
But they had 29th Armour Brigade had a motor infantry battalion, so they're in M5s. And then 159th Infantry Brigade are a lorried infantry brigade, so basically have enough trucks to transport them.
Okay.
They don't actually use ram kangaroos. It's one of those weird things. You think the armour divisions would have armoured transports, but apparently not.
No, that's what I thought they'd. I was going to say I thought they'd be like the half tracks, but obviously not.
No, like I say, the half tracks only for their motor battalion in the tank brigade.
There we go. Who knew?
Well, if you actually read any of my articles,
I didn't.
it explains you.
Well, that's yes. I meant you knew. That was what I mean in my next line. But yeah, that's fine. Personally attack me. I'm used to it by now.
There you go. So yeah, that's me. It's just, more tanks. And you say you gave up your time to talk about Jones.
I did. Yeah, I haven't done anything.
So
been too busy doing other stuff.
Thunderous silence.
Yep.
Yeah, you've been too busy looking at spreadsheets and going, I don't know what any of this
Gaining
is.
competitive advantage.
Is it a competitive
That's all
advantage?
I'll say.
Would it make
That's
any
all
difference
I'll
if
say.
you just if you put 3 against everything?
That's all
would it matter?
Yes, it would.
No, it wouldn't. I bet it wouldn't. You never know, will you? Because you haven't. You're not going to do that, are you?
Ah.
Because I know you. Because the umbrage you took then.
Dolores Umbridge.
Dolores Umbridge, exactly.
We're enjoying on the painting channel just listening to Eddie occasionally sigh at someone's. We'll try and work out what someone's the bewildering list choices some people have made. Going, I'm not sure what this guy's doing. And is it attack list? Is it defense list?
Oh, I figured out
Yeah.
the thing about the scout cars.
All right, okay.
Because I'd forgotten in Deep Reserves, it's front armor 3.
2. Or is it
If
3?
you're 3 or
I
more,
thought it was
you
2.
get stuck in Deep Reserves, which is why people were taking the scout cars and not the L6s.
Right.
And that made a lot more sense. I was like, yes, at that point, you don't get stuck.
Also, who took the broom bars? Which person who took the broom bars?
God.
You found it for me.
I did. I sent it through. I've got a list.
Yeah, whoever you are, you've made my list now. I need to get revenge on you before I die. That is not a broom bar list. That is an abomination.
It was broom bars and T26s, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was like 2 broom bars or 3 broom bars. It was like the most
min-max formation.
It was stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 broom bars. I mean, oh my days. Like, what are they doing?
Yep.
Like, at least 3. Oh my god. Like, what's the commander doing? 1 broom bar and then a Ferdinand.
I mean,
Jesus.
That is, some people's idea.
No, that's not that. That's not that is. That's the opposite
It's
of that
something.
is. It's not something. It's an awful, awful,
and awful.
It's an awful. Yeah, I actually got lost for words looking at it, going, "What is this?"
I'm just enjoying the rage, just the sheer.
It's just a no.
Basking in it.
That shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be allowed to call that a broom bar formation. 3 broom bars. My God.
Some of them are just spectacular.
It's just like, how is that? How is that legal?
There's one Italian guy who's taken 60 points of anti-tank 14. He had 388s. Was it 388s, 3 Lancia 90s on the back of trucks, the Lancia, in one platoon, and then 4 Semaventi 90s, and it was like 63 points worth of.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm like, what are you putting in reserve?
A truck-mounted Lancia as it just waddles on,
dashes on, and goes, "Don't shoot me! I have a 4-up save."
Chuckles, I'm in danger.
I'm in danger. Me and my 3 friends are in maximum danger.
Also, who on earth is taking like that many KVs that require that much?
Mate, I had lists with 7 or 8 of them in. They are, the KV mid-war problem is significant.
Phil, I think you got your points wrong.
So
because you can take.
Oh no, they're all fair and balanced. They're fair and balanced.
You take the mixed tank of each company, which gives you a platoon of 4 to 5 of the bloody things, which are front armor 9.
So you can take some junk in the other slot as well.
Junk in the other slot, like T70s. Then you can add the
T60s.
The favourite thing is to add in a BA10 company as well. So then you have like 9 or 10 BA10 armored cars.
I can actually feel my penis shriveling.
And then you're like, okay, well maybe I can deal with that. Maybe I can deal with. Oh no, wait, what's that? You've got 4 KV8 flame tanks as well. Oh well, okay. So you're going to be flaming infantry, assaulting them with the unkillable tanks, and if I don't do that, you're going to swarm me with everything else. Yay!
What this is what I was thinking about this. What about Crusader Horde? Surely Crusader Horde had a.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, Crusaders do have a place when you're facing.
Because you can take Crusaders, Stuarts, and then potentially even Grants. Luke's done that to me before. Yep. And just gone.
That's the other thing, and then they just swarm you with sheer number of hulls, and you're like, "It's not much I can do against that." Because how do I fight? How do I plan against fighting Crusaders, and how do I plan against fighting KV8s? KV8s and KV1s.
I suppose that's where the team element comes in.
That's where the team element comes in, and that's where the stance comes in as well. So,
I didn't realise you were just restricted to be doing one stance the entire weekend. I thought.
Well, they change it up. So last.
Sorry, I just got an image now of Eddie just standing really campily and then going, "Oh no, I've got to stand like this."
My wrist really hurts.
The correct expression is wrecking. My wrists are wrecking.
My wrists are wrecking. So they change to mix up the formulas, as it were, to mix up the meta, to use that term. Last year, you revealed your stance when you revealed your list. So you had to guess the opponent's stance. And then this year you have you don't know their stances until the beginning of the tournament. Is that right? But you have to take the same one the whole way through. I can't remember. But anyway,
It's
you've
probably
got.
not important.
It's not that important, but yeah. It to be honest, adding the variable of changing a stance and then having to deal with a complete different set of mission probabilities. You know, you're hamstringing yourself if you're mix and matching that much up. I think because you're just adding more variables to umpteen number of variables. No, it's going to be fun.
It also sounds like you're removing a huge chunk of joy, but apart from that,
I mean, this is to me. This part of it is very much the inches speech out of Any Given Sunday.
The inches speech.
Yeah, whereas it's the incremental benefits. It's the effort you put in.
Oh, are you talking about marginal gains now?
That's the thing I couldn't remember.
Oh. Gains.
You pour that extra inch of rum into every pour of your drink, and then eventually it's nothing but rum, and you're a winner. Is that right? Yeah, something like
that. I think we've established there's no winners here already.
No,
so
it's the ETC's Type 2 fun.
What diabetes?
It's Type 2 fun. It's amazing afterwards.
Are you sure this isn't Stockholm syndrome?
I was going to say this. Eddie, if you want rescuing, blink 3 times now.
It's addictive. It is. It's
No, I completely understand. I completely understand for some people that this is like super duper, but like it just seems like this is a game.
Yeah, it is. No, it is a game, and I enjoy it as a game, and I play it as a game. But this is a little element where it is a game where.
If you say a game within a game, I swear to God, I will kick you right in the coppers.
I was not going to say that.
Okay.
Adam Hart, I was going to say it's not a game within a game.
I will cut your Jacobs off.
This is taking it to the nth degree. But the irony is, so here's the irony, right? And here's why I think the ETC last year was so much fun. And I think it has a bad reputation for what it actually is now. Not to say it didn't deserve the reputation. All the instances.
Yeah, we're talking years back, right?
Yeah, pre-COVID, years ago. All of that perception of all the stuff and this shady shenanigans that went down. There's only really 5 teams out of the 17 who are there who want to win. If that makes sense.
So why don't you all just go and have a laugh and play some games, and then just go for curry after?
Because if you've got the chance to be one of the teams that win, then why not try to win it? If that makes sense. I mean that's the thing, and that's
but that's what I'm saying. Why do the other people?
Because it's a really good fun.
Win.
Yeah.
So why?
But it is fun. This is fun. It is Flames of War. It's really good games of Flames of War. Last year, I played 6 amazing games of Flames of War, and
it would just hurt my eyes. That's the thing. I just hurt it. I know the games are probably, and like some of the people going, I know it's absolutely fantastic people. I completely understand
amazing painting.
It's just the alarmy lists. Yeah, but that makes it worse. I've had this discussion with Ben. Do you remember? It's worse.
Yeah, I get you.
I'd rather get kicked in the knackers by something that's like just painted by like someone like Stevie Wonder's on, like than it be beautiful and then go, oh, that's really beautifully painted, but they're T26s and a
Brumbars together.
Brumbar air quotation marks.
But that's
yeah.
So here's the other thing, though, right? Because we have this. Magnifying glass on that element of the list building, that then gives fuel to get changes to enable the friendlier tournaments to be more balanced. Because if every list had an I know it's impossible because the variables involved, and that's fine. But if in an ideal world every single list had the same chance of winning, and it was down to your playing. If that made sense, then tournaments would be a lot more varied.
Yes, I didn't disagree with that.
Yeah, And I know.
I don't understand it, so I'm gonna disagree
You
with
don't
it because I
understand
don't
it?
understand.
Well, the
No.
fact that we can sit there and hopefully, as we expect, after the next ETC, go look, KV1s trounced every list they came up against, or they timed out to a draw against each other. There's irrefutable proof that the KV1 points need to be adjusted, and then in the dynamic point system, Battlefront can go away, tweak it, and go, oh, actually, maybe we'll make KV1s worse, and no one played Soviet infantry, so let's make them a bit cheaper or better or whatever.
But isn't that part of that to do with the fact that there's a time on around and playing Soviet infantry in mid-war is
No,
not
they're
quick?
just terrible. They're just too expensive for
Oh,
Are
what
they
they
terrible?
do.
I feel they're terrible.
are they terrible?
Well, they're not terrible because
I don't think they're
they are a cheap filler for a KV1 delivery system.
Oh,
But
my
without
God.
them, without the KV1s, what do you do?
Well, I mean, you played Mike.
Well, yeah, that's the
charge
barn.
stuff.
That's different. And also, yes, I did play Mike, and I beat him with the mediocre Panzer III list. I mean, no, it's not flex. I think it's just a case of that's a case.
Expose himself. Yeah.
I think Mike would agree if he remembers that game where he came running across the Stalingrad board, and I just had a reasonable number of machine guns set up, and just went daka 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 daka, and then went right. Okay, that's blunted your attack, and I'm just now going to drive over you with my Tiger.
But that doesn't prove
Well,
anything.
it does.
Because on another day, no, it doesn't. Because on another day, he rolls all three, saves them all, and walks across and kicks you in the. That's what I mean.
He doesn't roll that many save threes because he's on twos, and it's just a ridiculous number of dice.
Doesn't matter. But there's dice involved.
No, yeah,
Eddie.
there will be.
There is a scenario. It's implausible.
Yeah, but I'm just defeating with your own logic because
Yeah.
I made a statement and you tried to refute that by saying you've played Mike, and I said yes, I did, but in my instance, I got a different result. So if
what
you're trying to say that Soviet infantry were good because Mike wins with them, Mike
I didn't say that.
Lee did. Mike could win with a broken spoon.
No, but it's a game of dice. There's too many variables anyway.
Yes and no. You've got to be able to roll the dice.
Okay.
I do agree with the point. If everyone's taking KVs, it suggests that there's something off with KVs.
Oh no, I don't dispute that. I'm not saying that there's not a problem. If everyone's taking them, it's like the Mornfang problem in Warhammer when it changed to 8th edition, and they went to the South Coast GT and they took a picture of over 100 Mornfang models, and you're like, well, there's only 100 players. So that means that
what's the Mornfang?
Almost everyone. It's the Ogre Cavalry.
Right. Yeah.
So the units of 4 Ogre Cavalry. So basically, if you had an Ogre list, you were taking at least 4.
Jeez.
And they just took the picture of this table of
everyone's
just them
units
going
of the same thing because they're that good.
I think you should probably do that at the ETC. That's empirical proof.
That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's the same kind of thing. And,
it's not empirical proof, though, is it?
Well, the results will be, but you don't get that.
No, they won't.
You don't get that data without people trying to push the limits of what they can do within the framework.
Just because, well, to quote a famous scientist, just because you can.
This is the third episode in a row I get a Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park picture into the video version.
Oh my god, he's so sexy.
Do you know why?
What?
Because he's a man. Yeah,
he is the man. I thought you said he's a man. I was like, that's a bit much, Dunk.
Well, that's a low bar. That's a 3 out of 10.
I feel.
Yeah.
It's a 3-star review on TripAdvisor.
Here I am in the car, talking to myself. That's
absolutely
chaos
adequate
theory.
man.
No, it's not Jeff, but fine. Good attempt.
No, it's butterfly theory.
Which isn't chaos theory. That's fine.
No, I know. Butterfly theory was such a
terrible. I love Jurassic Park. Anyway,
should we get to Uni's army?
The Scandinavian Uni's army.
Yes. Like it's all Nordic.
It's all Nordic.
All Nordic all the time.
I know every language but Nordic.
Oh, do you know that there's different in different European countries? There's different way to say it's all Greek to me, and it all involves different countries. It's all Chinese. It's all Czech. Different countries say different things. I'll find it. We can include that on the podcast link. It'll be educational. Because that's what people are here for.
Education.
All I want to know is what do the Greeks call it?
Oh, I wonder what that is.
Oh, you have to look it up.
Mayan. It's all Mayans.
Mayan to me.
There you go.
It's so bizarre. That's the case. Let's go choose a long dead Central American civilization.
Kalema.
Isn't that Indian?
Kalema. Yeah, but it still works.
What?
Kalema works.
Insert some casual racism.
Kalema works in any situation.
Well, it depends if you like your heart or not, doesn't it? I suppose. Anywho,
I asked Hammy to say something funny. He asked, "What's brown and sticky?" To which I replied,
Is it?
I replied, "Soviet infantry," and he goes, "I suppose so."
No, is it the alleged paint that Mike Everest is using on his table?
The perfect brown hashtag.
Yeah,
Emperor's children.
All right. So, in Greek, it's all Greek to me. This strikes me as Chinese.
This strikes me as Chinese.
Yeah, pick another country. This is fun.
Luxembourg.
That's not a country.
It most definitely is a country.
No, it's not. It's a principality. It barely counts.
All right,
they're not on here.
I'll
See,
go
they
for
don't
the
count.
next best thing: the Netherlands.
The Dutch.
Crepe and a waffle.
Yeah, that is Chinese to me.
Spoken a pancake.
There you go. Danish is brilliant. Danish. This is a town in Russia.
This is a town in Russia. Nice.
There we go. That was probably on
Well,
the
that puts us most definitely into talking about Nordic forces versus the Russians. Then, yeah. So obviously, we looked at the Nordic book in the last episode. So as is customary, and I think at this point Darren will point all the times we haven't done it. On the next episode, we go and say what list can we come up with using that book.
I'm excited.
So we've set 100 points. That's pretty much our standard. Our standard go-to, and we're just going to try and stick to the book as much as possible. Well,
are we?
I'm sure.
Yeah, we are.
At least I think your core formation, your core formation and force should be from Nordic forces. If you've got an allied formation, that's fine. But okay. So, Duncan, I know you've already been wearing to go on this one, so you go first.
Yeah. Shall I do my first list? Because I did two.
It's the first one you showed. It's the first one, the one you showed us. Go for it.
Yeah. So the first thing you do is you clear your mind of all external complexities. You must be in a zen-like state to appreciate this. So do that now. Take 30 seconds, just clear.
Do you then lay on the ground and make yourself as flat as possible?
Yeah, you have to lay down in a field.
I can see where this is going already.
Touch some grass. Interfere with a chipmunk. And then, the first thing you do is you take a S-tank formation, obviously, and you add into the command 3 S-tanks. And then you take 4 more platoons of S-tanks.
So these are Swedish, right?
It's all Swedish. There is no other list in this book. I don't know. I don't understand. It does not compute. And then, so that's your first formation. That comes to the princely sum of 55 points.
So how many S-tanks is that?
Which is quite nice. That is 15, I believe. Is it 15?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah,
3. Yeah, 15. So that's it's a nice round number, because you can take 3 in the command, can't you? Which is unusual.
Yeah.
And then, so the next thing you do is you need to top up the rest of that to get to 100 points. So you take another S-tank formation. You do exactly the same thing, but only with 2 tanks in the command. So it gets to 45 points, which makes an exactly round 100 points of all S-tank. And I think that gives you 24 S-tanks as a total, which I think is, as you'll find, quite an optimum number.
And these are front armor
12.
Oh, it doesn't
front
matter.
Armor doesn't count.
Doesn't, yeah, well, whatever.
12.
You just take, brilliant. And then you can put an entire formation in reserve then as well.
But the ambush, so the ambush tank rule means that they can shoot and remain gone to ground.
Yep. Long as they move.
Yep.
Slat armor means that they
armor 13 versus heat.
Which
whoop-de-doo. You're hit.
It basically stops an RPG 7
You are
going
amphibious, which I appreciate. You only have a 4-up cross, which is atrocious.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. That's really weird. I know. It's
with
just
an AT-21 gun,
what's going on?
3-inch range.
Yep.
2 up firepower, brutal,
Just-
forward firing, laser rangefinder,
Range 48.
overworked,
Yep.
and smoke.
And I'm not sure what you do with that, but you do go, oh, look at this. Look at all of this. I'm not sure it's terrible. I'm not sure it's as terrible as I first thought it was.
I mean, the reserves
it's not great, but it's not.
are not.
The reserves are
are not
troublesome.
great, yeah.
But they're troublesome for all the Nordic lists, unless you take some allied West
That's
Germans.
true.
Foreshadowing.
You attack it. Yeah, because if you attack, you're not great on the.
No, you don't attack. Why are you
Why are
attacking?
you
If you go in
attacking?
defence, your
attacking?
deep reserves is going to bite you.
What? So you can't start up with anything?
Well,
on
pretty
the
much, you
table?
have like one unit on.
That'd be brilliant. I'd love to see that. No, you know, you're not attacking.
You have to go maneuver.
It's not a
Maneuver's
defen-
any stance that's going to work.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
There you go. So my actual proper list, though,
That
so
was a joke one. That was
so I
just nothing
wanted to
but
see on the
S-Tank.
Was it a
Well,
joke? Was it? Are you sure it's not like a little bit of you thinking actually?
Team Yankee 470.
Well, actually,
right?
I mean, it might have been the first list I did, and they went, "No, that's just silly. We can't do that." So because it's 24, which is not. No, it's not 24. What am I talking about? 3.
We had 15 in the
I
first
can't
one,
be
and you've
bothered.
got one less tank in the second one, so 14. So
Yes.
it's 29.
29 S tanks.
It's not
That's what you
terrible.
need.
They do come in packs of 3, so that's just 10 boxes.
They
They are plastic.
Are they only packs of 3? They're not
They're in a
5.
pack of 3.
That's
Well, because
distressing.
each
isn't it?
unit's 3 tanks strong, so it makes a kind of sense.
It does make sense. I bet there's no economy of scale in there, though, is there, Phil? So my actual list was the same S tank formation. So it was full potato S tank. So you get 12, which is quite nice. Then take the 2 armored PVV 302 the rifles, but I didn't upgrade any of them because I didn't see the point. Because you can take that extra missile, which makes them AT-22, but they only get one shot with it. It's such a trap because you don't want to be shooting. You don't want to shoot one thing and then all hell break loose.
Yeah,
around
but you
you.
can leave. See, here's the thing, though. The thing that we don't. We keep our platoons together because that's how we play. But there's no.
Well, it's how the rules suggest that you
Yeah,
play.
but there's no stop you leaving that sat somewhere.
May I refer you previously to my comment about just because you can
No,
doesn't
but
mean you should.
one of those on Overwatch sat in a tree line.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah,
And the rest of the platoon goes off to go capture that mobile objective. You're not taking it with you, but then you've got a perfect.
Yeah.
It's
I still don't think it's
extra
great.
massive AT shot a turn. And who's going to waste shooting that one stand?
I think the problem is the platoons aren't particularly big in the first place.
They're not massive.
Correct.
So leaving that one stand back is you're reducing your.
And it's not an extra stand. If it's an extra stand, I could see your point, but you're actually swapping out one of your point
That's what I meant.
stands.
Sorry, leaving that. We're still leaving one of your 6
I
stands.
see. Because there's only 3 stand. Oh god.
Correct. Yeah, it's like the Carl Gustavs in the British list. So they're actually separate.
Yeah.
Little anti-tank team. So you're exchanging a third of your sort of aggressive anti-tank, if you like, for a more snipery type one. And I don't know if it's worth it.
I'd just leave them on the jeeps. Take the build jeeps for extra shot and yeah.
Yeah. So if you take the S tanks, the infantry, because you take both the infantry, because that's awesome. Like having 2 infantry in a mech platoon is quite tasty. And that gives you, I think that's 74 points. And then the first thing you do after that is you put in the Bander cannon with the forward observer for 10 points, because, obviously. Exactly. Well, 10 points is just...
And they've got the autoloader plus 1 to hit, right?
Yep.
Correct. And the veteran and
range.
Yeah.
Oh, 100 and... I can't even read that.
Yeah.
104 inches. Nice.
Yep. So they're doing some work. Plus, you haven't got any artillery. That's the other weird thing. You don't get any baked in artillery support. You don't even get any mortars or anything. So you do need something. So that's putting them in. And then to round that out, I thought, well, actually, 16 points. Do you know what 16 points equals in support?
4
Vigans.
Yeah.
So I just put 4 Vigans in. I thought that's that's pretty tasty in terms of you don't need those AT-22, I don't think.
No anti-aircraft, though, apart from the Vigans.
No. But then you either do it or you don't,
Yeah,
do
it's
you?
true.
With anti-aircraft. And you can only take, 3 tubes of missile defense system stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you take it as 4 points. I think it's quite expensive for what it does.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, you compare it. I know it's not quite the same, but you compare it to the Soviets or the Germans can take the Gepards and then the Red Eyes, and that's quite a nice little combo. Just 3 little tubes by themselves, which feels a bit.
No one takes Roland's, right? It's
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's exactly 100 points. Now, I don't know. I haven't thought about reserves. I didn't get that far. I just went, oh, that's pretty nice. But you're always going to struggle with the reserves for any of these forces. I think we just said that. Just because they're relatively economical and they haven't got one big unit that you can try and put into that reserve slot. So you're going to be multiples.
Interesting.
It is a problem with the modern reserve system. It just penalises if you don't have like a one expensive unit.
Yeah. Which is good though, because it means that you end up. It limits the amount of chaff you can take.
Does it?
Yeah, it does, because if you sat there and go, well, actually, I'll take. If you didn't have to worry about your reserves being brought on by unit, and you could put anything in reserve, that's another 33 points worth of nonsense, or 40 points worth of nonsense you could take.
I know.
Which
I just think
doubles. At that point, you're rocking up with 40 or 50 tank hulls rather than the 25, 30.
Yeah, I just feel it penalises armies that can't do a 1 or 2 unit drop.
Yeah, no, that is fair.
I know that playing British, it's like you end up with like 3 or 4 units in reserve. It's just But yeah, all right. So that's sounds like a cool list. How many S-tanks is that in total?
Only 12.
Only.
Yeah.
All right, Lee, what have you got?
So that's it. Yeah.
So I went Norwegian. I thought I'd go for Norwegians. Yeah, because I was looking at Finns, and the Finns are cool, but I thought no one's really going to do Norwegian, so I thought I'd look at them.
Nice.
So I went with the infantry formation, the storm formation.
Mm-hmm.
So I got HQ in NM 135. I then got 2 stormtroops.
Mm-hmm.
Both upgrade to have all NM 135s rather than half and half with M113s.
Mm-hmm.
One unit's got Carl Gustavs, and one unit's got Eric's.
Okay.
I've got the 4 NM 142 anti-tank vehicles with tow 2, 4 Leopards, and then 4 81mm mortars. So that's the formation. In support, I've got the NM 135 recon troop, NM 195 air defense troop, which is basically a bit like the Swedish one, but on M113s.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 Vigans, because I figure with the Maverick you can get standoff. You don't have to dice around with the enemy SAM systems if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You should. Do you not?
Yeah, you can just stand off and pick things off. That range you get in the Mavericks.
But is your range? Yeah, but is yours range greater than their range?
Well,
because the missile systems tend to have quite
correct.
a long.
So yeah, the SAM systems have got a longer range, but they still can't cover a full table.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You find the one area that they can't.
So either they have to group all their high value stuff in one place, which you can use to drive the battle at that point, or you pick stuff off that gets outside the SAM umbrella. And then
look at this. It's thought about this.
I don't like this. This is far too put together.
No. This
then
is joined up.
M109s, the Norwegian M109s, the short barrel ones.
Yep.
At that point, for the last 33 points, I took a US Marine Corps M60 platoon, because Norwegians have that little sidebar where you can take their US Marine Corps.
Totally legit,
and a almost full strength. I didn't take the 60mm mortar. US Marine Corps rifle platoon.
Oh my god!
I have faced that thing so many times. I know how good those guys are at holding an objective.
Well, there's just such a huge blob of stuff as well, isn't it?
So the idea would be you'd have
nice.
the US Marine Corps platoon on the foremost objective, or if you're playing a short, a long table edge mission, you have those guys pretty much on their own. You then have the Eric's stormtroops either shooting over the top of them or off on the other side, backed up by their NM195s, their M109 mortars. The Storm Group, the Carl-Gustavs, the Leopards, and the M60s are your reserve, basically.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 reserves. But you're playing an 8 tank, you've got the Vigans.
Well, you probably don't want the Leopards necessarily on the table anyway, because they'll just explode in gory death.
You got enough mobility you can go on the attack. You've got enough static strength you can go on defense. I think it's a nice little all-round list.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the 2 Vigans nice, because I was thinking about that going, 2 Vigans, it's not a lot of punch, is it?
Obviously, I'd proxy in Norwegian F-16s at that point rather than using Vigans.
The venerable F-16.
Well, it wasn't venerable then. It's brand new.
I know. Sorry. I remember the Norwegian crew chief talking to me about his F-16 when I was out there a couple of years ago with the former job.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, they are old girls, but they are working harder. We're looking forward to the F-35s.
So yes, that's mine.
I mean, Vigan isn't bad.
It's a cheap Maverick shot.
Vigan's very good.
Or cheaper Maverick shot.
The Vigan's very good.
Mavericks plus 85 salvo.
Mm-hmm.
And cannons with anti-helicopter if you really
the
have
cannons,
to...
Yeah, the cannons are the weakest bit because they rate of fire 2, whereas most of them are rate of fire 3.
I mean, but if you end up if you end up having to take down a helicopter, it may do it for you.
As Mike's shown with his intruders as a Harrier proxy, those cannons can actually be quite a good little disruptor against SAM systems and self-propelled guns and stuff. So yeah, what you got, Teddy?
Well, I thought you would both go S-Tank.
Oh, of course I got.
So I decided not to go S-Tank, and instead went Danish.
I thought for sure you could go Finnish.
Okay. See. So I went for a Centurion squadron.
Nice.
Because, one of us has got to represent Lee.
Centurion's a jank.
So HQ Centurion, a platoon of 3 Centurions, another platoon of 3 Centurions, another platoon of 3 Centurions, some M106 120mm mortars. Oh my god, in formation. Nice. Yep. Thank you very much. The M113 infantry platoon in formation. Thank you very much. The M113 tows, which I think are 4 of them.
Yeah,
4 of them. 4 of them for 6 points. Yep. Thank you. I'll have those information as well. Thank you very much. And then I'll just take some 109 howitzers as well. Information. 3 of them.
It's a strong formation.
Which is a big block. Then I take 2 platoons of the Scout Mercedes-Benz because, G-Wagon. Why would you not?
Yeah. And you can shoot your Uzi sideways out of it as well.
It's lovely. They've got laws as well. I just love the idea of law drive-bys.
I know.
They absolutely don't have laws. They don't have... No, they absolutely don't. They do not hold to any law.
They are a law unto themselves.
Exactly.
It's just the 88 12, range 12, heat and slow firing. And then 4 tornadoes from West Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are 8 points and they have that amazing salvo, which isn't one use.
Yeah, why is it one use?
I don't know. It's anti-tank 8, 3 out of 5 hour salvo template. It's just like, oh, hello.
I mean, it's the very definition of being one use. It's a big canister you strap to the bottom of the aircraft, and it spanks out all the bomb.
You don't reload the airplane. You don't reload the aircraft. You're just getting a different one.
Yeah.
And then I had 4 points left, so I got 4 red eyes, 4 stand red eye platoon for anti-air.
Can you take them without the Gepards?
Yes,
because these are Danish.
These are the Danish red eye. That's what I mean. They have half tracks to drive around in. Yeah. They're 4 red eye AAs with 2 M113 half tracks. Because they don't have any
again?
They're 4 AA
red eyes
with in 2 M113 half track. Tracks.
APCs. That's what confused me. You kept saying half track.
Half track. Yeah, I did. Yes.
That's right. I thought you meant I thought you were going to say M3 half tracks.
M3.
Well, that's
Proper
that's
retro.
spicy.
Old school.
Fate of a Nation,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday's technology.
So my
tomorrow,
reserve
yeah.
is the 3 Centurions.
Is that
Oh,
it?
sorry. Oh, I'm forgetting the 3 German Leopard 2s.
There you go.
Because it sounds like enough on its own, doesn't it? And I was
Yeah.
like, that's only 67 points of Danish people.
What cost 33 points?
What costs 33 points? Oh, 3 Leopard 2s. That'd do me. A 2 platoon reserve. Excellent.
So you didn't
Come at
fancy
me, bro.
taking for 1950 standards Churchills, the 20 pounders. You thought you'd go for the 120s.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I just didn't at that point.
But it's a good combo, I think, at that point. Like, say, 1 platoon of Leopard 2s to back up all that 8 tank, 19.
Are they the Arrowhead ones or
No, they're the standard flat
ones?
slabby. The
That's
ones I
what's got
like.
3 of them.
Slabby faces.
Yeah. See, that's still
They're
pretty
very
punchy.
They're not pretty punchy. They're very punchy.
Well, my Dutchies love them.
Full armor
Stop.
18, anti-tank 22, advanced stabilizer, later rangefinder. Oh, you just drive on and go, oh, and you're dead, and you're dead. Well, normally they drive on and go, oh, everyone else is dead.
Here we come to say, oh, we haven't saved the day.
I like the.
Nope.
If you could pick anyone to be in your Team Yankee army, who would you be? And it'd be like, I'll be the 3 Centurions that are the second drop reserve. Because we turn up and everyone's either already dead,
everything's dead,
or we've already lost, and therefore the sensible thing to do is drive away and live.
Honestly,
it's like your community meme where he walks in with the pizzas and everything's on fire. Yes.
Everything's on fire. So I almost, at the beginning of this whole exercise, I almost said, oh, this is really good. This is like a list that I've built and I'm quite happy with paper hammering it, but I don't want to actually play it or collect it. And having talked about it now, I'm like, that's pretty good.
But I mean, on the other hand, you've got Canadians. You've already got that leopard. You've already got a Leopard 1 army. It's
not going to happen.
Yeah.
But also, my refer to the Lord our Jesus Christ, the S
I
tank.
know, that's the other thing. This is
I'm
what I would
not
pick.
being funny.
This is because I knew you'd do S tanks. I thought Lee would probably do S tanks as well if you hadn't already thought about it.
No, I'm surprised Lee didn't do Centurions.
I mean, honestly, it was going to be Vissel Finns. Centurion's great, but there's lots of other cool stuff in this.
It's quite a good book. Looking, going through.
It's almost like we should have said what nation we were going to do.
But what's the fun in that?
Yeah, but we haven't duplicated,
I mean.
which is nice. So it's.
Yeah, I quite like the Finns as well. I do like the idea of using Soviet.
I would have done.
Soviets.
See, the other thing I was looking at was those really good Swedish Jeeps
with missiles.
The anti-tank ones. Yeah,
I was very tempted. The thing that put me off.
They're a trap.
My tow Jeep's doing that.
Yeah, I mean they're not a trap, but because I wanted them and I wanted the band cannon, the bandstand cannon.
I mean, who doesn't?
But the thing that put me off was the fact I'd have to take the APC formation, and the APC just looks too weird. It looks like you've described to ChatGPT to draw you an M113, and it's kind of gone. It's got too many fingers.
Well, now what's that? What's the image one called? I can't think now.
Oh, mid
journey.
Mid-journey.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you've described an M113 to that, and it's gone. Here you go. This is what I've come up with. You're like, I don't like it.
I don't understand. There must be a reason for it. I'm gonna have to find out why it's got that weird wrinkle. Is it some kind of defense thing on the front?
Middle? It's just like a double slope. It's just like sloped armor, basically. But it's
I think it's because it's amphibian.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's a bow wave. I mean, they are amphibious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all
so
of the Swedish stuff's
M113s,
amphibious.
Have that.
No, exactly. So the M113, to avoid getting swamped, they have the board that goes out forward. Yeah. These have this as well, but if you look at it, it's designed to deflect the wash sideways away from the turrets.
Yes, I can see.
So I think it's slightly more aquatic, is my guess. Looking at it. With the rounded,
in a country full of lakes,
more amphibian.
Yeah, to make it a better amphibian. The 113 is pretty bad, really.
Well, I was reading a bit today about the various deployments of the Swedish Army. So my formation was actually the 8th Armoured Brigade, and one of the things they were talking about was counter-attacking beachheads was one of their big things. So we should definitely do an amphibious landing in
That would be
Scandinavia.
amazing.
We need some naval infantry for that.
Make it happen, Phil. Surely the studio manager's going on holiday again at some point, and like we can just convince them that they need to just sculpt an entire new range, right?
Wow.
Polynesian canoe
Surely.
wars, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, there we go.
That's what I mean. There we go.
So there's one picture I found of the PVB 302 swimming, and it's it's taken from the rear quarter.
Does it look awesome? I bet it looks awesome.
The front plate, the wash plate, is actually because it's angled, does have a bow shape to it. So I think it is just to provide a bit more aquatic capabilities.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
It just looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Just accept
it's a shame
cool.
it's a resin kit.
I mean, that's the other thing. I couldn't bring myself to.
I've paid my penance by doing my Dutch APCs. I don't think I should be forced
I paid
to do
your
it
penance
again.
by doing Basij.
Only the penitent man may pass, Eddie.
Duck. No, mate, that's a swimwagen.
Just remember, Jehovah starts with an I.
Yeah.
In Greek.
And that Jesus drank out of a plate.
He did, but he did. That's what grail means. Ask Mike.
Is it really?
Grail is a plate. It's a serving platter. Yeah, in medieval France.
I thought that we already got one.
Yeah, exactly. Bonjour.
I've just googled what is a grail, and it's come up with a Soviet defense missile.
There you go. I think that's Google learning your algorithms.
Can you imagine? That would be hilarious. It's the wargamer trap in the. They've got all these cups and plates, and there's an anti-aircraft missile.
Yeah, there's this SA-13 Grail in the corner.
It goes, I know. Trick question. It starts trying to drink out of it.
Yeah. That's more than a yard of ale. A grail of ale.
That is.
Jesus was a humble carpenter. I also believed a strong air defense is us.
Yeah. Well, exactly. If the devil's got wings, what better to take him down? He's coming straight for us.
I beg your pardon.
Yep. I still can't find what the school class size for 1945 is in Germany either. This really started to annoy me. Someone must know. I've got like 1938.
Just ask ChatGPT.
Alexa.
How many watch lists?
She doesn't know. She doesn't know anything. She gets arsey as well when I call her Siri.
An officer answers.
More questions from our lovely patrons.
Our lovely, lovely patrons. How do we love thee? Let me count the ways by going through this list of things.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, Chief Archivist Hart, asks for more details on the hashtag Ultimate Challenge, please.
Yep, so that's for the patrons for next year for the 80th D-Day celebrations.
Right, I can't help but think I missed the memo on this one.
Well, no, I'll put it up on the. There's a separate channel for it on the Discord.
Ooh, fancy. That's probably why.
No, there's not. I know you haven't looked, so I could have said anything.
You could have just said, yeah, no, we had a full multimedia presentation on there, Fez. Did you not see that? No, I didn't. That's amazing.
We had slides and everything.
There's a 27-minute pitch video as well, cobbled together. No, the idea with this was, and we haven't really feathered it out any more than a sort of a very rough idea at the moment.
Right.
Of essentially creating one, maybe two D-Day armies. And then getting people that are going to attend to paint said armies or paint a unit for said army. And then someone will walk away with said army at the end of the day. So like a super mega raffle prize.
Well, that sounds like me at most tournaments.
Well, no, that you're usually creating your army on the way, not
I am, but then I just take someone else's at the end of it.
Oh, I see.
Joking. Oh, God.
It's like a jersey swap at the end of the game kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's Jersey got to do with it? Poor Jersey.
He's back, baby.
What, the Channel Island? I don't think
James.
they went away.
Well, I mean, you know.
Tax reasons.
Was he called Jersey because he was from Jersey?
I think so.
Oh, that would make sense.
Or it's just the only thing you can think to rhyme with James.
Jammy.
Jammy James.
And the giant peach.
Jammy Hammy James. No, is this Hammy?
Ham and Jammy James.
Ham and Jammy James. Pegasus Games. Okay, that's
So-
pretty cool.
So we'll work that out. I mean, it'll have to be sensible. It won't, I don't think doing a
Sensible.
21st Panzer Army and then
I'll
going
paint
right
the Goliaths.
the Goliaths.
Yeah.
What, the Necromunda gangers or?
No, the little Goliath remote control bombs.
Ooh, that could be quite cool.
They
The little
actually had
remote-
them.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking because they also
Buried
had
in
the
the
Tiger
beach.
Little
Twos.
tunnels, didn't they? Yeah.
There were little like encampments. So you ran up and they could just like,
Well, I
Oh,
quite
hello.
like that.
hello, Timmy. What's this?
Well, I think we should do the 700.
What are you trying to tell me? I think they're trying to communicate. Bang.
I think we should do the 716th Static Infantry Division and then have a Korean
Just one stand.
one standing. Yeah,
as an
Japanese.
objective. Just one guy going,
Yeah, I'm very
confused.
confused.
Yeah, and when the crocodile gets him, it's a Korean barbecue. So it's
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like the beginning of Mars Attacks. It's one of those, is Korean New Year or something? Flaming cows go running past.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Is it a Pablo Escobar flaming?
I love that film. So that's cool. We'll talk about that a bit more in the events, I think, how that links together into the Barn Bash 75th?
No,
80th.
80th. Is it 80th?
80th. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's now moved.
2004. Yes.
It's now moved past the point of living history.
1994. Oh, man.
It's now recorded history.
There is such a big part. Growing up as there's very much the son of a military historian, and having this drilled into me as a kid, and it just becoming like rote that you knew these things. It was a real shock when I first went into the working world and experienced people who didn't understand why all these weird places in the in the world spoke English, and
imperialism?
Well, that to start with, yeah, exactly. It was like, well, you do realize these are all British colonies, right? And they're like, no. It's like, how could you not know that about history? Okay, fine.
Quebec. Yeah.
steady. And then the more I learn, and there's lots of memes about when you turn 30s, you got to pick your poison as to whether or not you get really into sport or really into
Cars or what
is it cars? I can't remember the other thing.
Cars is the other one. Classic cars. Yeah.
Classic cars or World War II.
Yeah.
And it just absolutely boggles the mind, the entirety of the Normandy campaign and the Normandy invasion in particular, which is only a tiny snapshot of 5 years worth of global conflict. And it's listening to things like We Have Ways of Making You Talk, and the more you find out about these other random incidents and random campaigns, which aren't even random, they're huge things with thousands of people involved.
Yeah. Did you listen? Sorry, sidebar. Did you listen to one about naval or aviational mine laying?
I did.
Absolutely fascinating.
I had to. I was. My favourite way is a little peek behind the curtain. My favourite thing for listening to We Have Ways of Making You Talk is to on my lunchtime walks out to the local corner shop just to get out of the house office at lunchtime. And I was sort of walking along in the sunshine, listening to that on my headphones. And I'm just like, James, it's 1940s, mate. Like, they don't have seeking magnetic mines. They just sit at the bottom and wait for something to go over the top and then explode.
But the amount of time that was spent on them, and it was fascinating.
It was incredible. I mean, for the 1940s, amazing technology.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. It's like, right, so you're going to fly at night at 500 feet. And I'm just like, oh, God.
Yeah, also, as a rookie crew.
It harks over to my previous... Whenever I hear about these things, having worked in a small, light twin aircraft as a crew, in peacetime, doing things at night at low level, and knowing just how dangerous that is, yet alone at war, in a blackout, when you don't know what they've put up against you, with literal ordnance in your aircraft. It's like it's 1940s. Your airplane is dangerous enough without putting hundreds of worth of highly volatile explosives in it, designed by the lowest bidder in a factory in the middle of a field by someone who, used to be a milkman. Like, all of these things line up. He's like, oh, yeah, that's great. I've got the local darts player who's my, newly found aircraft engineer, engine mechanic. Aviation is dangerous enough without all of these variables at wartime. And then to have them go, yeah, no, that's fine. That's obviously an easy thing to go do. So we'll give it to the new crews. Just like, what?
Yep.
What part of that is easy? Descending.
It's good practice. It's good practice.
Yeah, it's good practice for being at
dead
20,000 feet in a straight line level.
Well, if you can do that, it's definitely you can do anything really, can't you? So
Exactly, yeah, kill or cure basically.
It's like a pass exam.
It's like joining the Masons.
But to have them label it the milk run, it's just like, what the fudge. So
I can't feel if you called it an instant death if you really crap test, we'd really cut down on the applicants kind of.
No,
thing.
it's called the MIA run. Why? Because we never find out what happened to you. I mean, you took off and then you didn't come back.
Operation Certain Death. Well, that's this. They obviously learned from the First World War instead of like the 12 minuters or whatever it was.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
The 20 minutes, it wasn't good for recruitment, so they called it the milk run and went, yeah, this is really easy.
Yeah, this is really good. That's how our guys learn how to do this. I'll never forget, I've told it before, but this anecdote is, at the time, I didn't think anything of it. But we were at former RAF Tuddenham, which is a military bomber base up in, near the Midwest, Mideast, Eastern, I don't know, near Norfolk, but not really. Anyway.
Do you mean Lincolnshire?
Yeah, that's the one.
Right, okay.
It's north of the river. I'm sorry, I'm a Southern Fairy. I don't go north of the river. The River Thames. So we were setting up to do one of our zombie games with everyone dressed up as zombies with airsoft and BB guns and that kind of thing. And this car turns up randomly on a Friday afternoon, and this old lady gets out, and this young man, and her son, it turns out, go out as well, and they're walking around. And I go up there as the organizer and go, "Can we help you? Like, what are you doing?" And they she turns around and says, "Oh, I used to work here during the war as a young girl." So I just came up. My son's brought me up to have a look. We're in the area again, so we just had a look at what was left. And what is the only thing that's left? The actual airfield's gone. It's all been turned back into pig farms. Mm-hmm. But what is left, and what we use as the airsoft site, is all the single-story buildings. So they're all gutted out, but you can tell, that's a shower block. That used to be the toilets. These are old offices, but they're all single-story buildings, the admin blocks. She goes, "Yeah, I used to work here during the war." I was like, "Wow, that's incredible." She goes, "Yeah, she worked in the payroll, and she was 17, so she, signed up to do her bit, and I said, right, you go to payroll." And she goes, "Yeah, no one thought about mental health back then, but looking back on it, it was quite traumatic." I was like, "Oh, right." She goes, "Yeah, well, being in payroll, I'd come into work at 9:00 the day after one of the big bomber raids, and all I was given was a massive list of people whose pay I had to stop."
Oh my God.
Because they hadn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
And her job was literally going through and going, right, Flight Sergeant so-and-so, stop his pay. And you think, seven guys per aircraft, losing 5 or 6 or 7 aircraft, that's 30 or 40 people that she's just going, stop pay, stop pay, stop pay, stop pay. When they found out what had happened to them, they'd reinstate the pay or whatever, but they're not going to pay for someone they think is, they don't know what's happened to them.
Yeah, until you got their own confirmation in a POW camp. Yeah,
exactly. You think like a 17-year-old kid just getting list of name after name, night after night during these raids, which is, to me, is just fascinating. The scale of the stuff that went on, which links us back to D-Day being absolutely phenomenal. Especially when you look at it now, we can, literally can't organise a piss up in a brewery.
Well, we could. It's quite hard to do that. You ever thought about it?
It is quite hard, even at a beer festival, because everyone stands around talking to their mates in the middle of the bar. I've gone very old man on over this. There's a Cotswold Beer Festival, and everyone decided it was a great chance to talk to their friends standing in the middle of the 2-meter wide bar. So you had all these people trying to get beer, squeezing past them.
Was it real ale?
Oh yeah, it was camera. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It was just it was the maximum entitlement show.
The maximum.
It was good beer though.
How many pairs of dusky pink chinos were
Too many.
visible?
Too many. Yeah, exactly.
Were they clubbable?
I don't know.
The chaps.
What about
baby seals?
Yeah.
7 or 8 pints. I was happy as a lark.
Oh god.
But yeah,
Right.
World War II, insane, and hence the war games that will keep us going for years and years to come.
There's a soundbite for the podcast. World War II, insane.
It is insane.
It is insane.
It's just
I know
mad.
it's insane.
You get this one little tidbit line in a history book, and you look into it, and you think, well, that's a huge undertaking. How the hell do you do that? Which is why I'm looking forward to the Italian games for the Barn Bash stuff, because then I can start to look a little bit more into a front that I've know the bare minimum about.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm looking forward to James Holland's new book. He's going to be doing Italy.
Yes. No, I've got 3 or 4 books of his upstairs waiting to read through.
I'm just reading through Brother at Arms. It's been on my to-do list for ages. The one about the
Sherwood Rangers.
Sherwood Rangers.
Oh, see, I haven't started. Is it good?
It's very good. Yeah, just got to basically like sort of winter in 1944. So basically, they've been in the island with the 82nd.
That's just mad.
Like I say, having like other units being folded into them as like the casualties mount up. So just like
that's the other thing. You sit there and you go, oh, why didn't this unit do great? Or and if you think about it from your work experience, how disruptive it is when another team member comes in from outside, and now you're like, well, that team member's actually in charge of not letting me get shot in the back, and I don't know him from Adam, and now there's only 3 guys left that I actually know and trust from before, and how it evolves going forward.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things it deals with is like ever diminishing pool of like desert veterans.
Oh my gosh, that's
they were in the same brigade as 3RTR in the desert.
Yeah,
3RTR
they've been through it.
Yeah, they come back. 3RTR gets split off to go to a 29th Brigade. I think the Sherwood Rangers are basically the only original unit left in the brigade from the desert. The other 2
that's incredible, isn't it? It makes sense, just grinding through people.
Yeah. But I think it's like a handful of officers, basically, because the casualty rate on like troop commanders is horrendous.
I can't even imagine.
Just every chapter is like a brand new troop commander because the last one got whacked or something like that.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, not for me. Thanks. I'll put up with my chuckling about naval.
Well, that's the thing.
On the lunchtime walk to the shop.
Yeah, as a pair of like desert veterans who. Regimental commander himself, a desert veteran, offers a field commission to become troop commanders, and they turn it down because they just like realise it's safe to be buried in the turret. So.
Yep. No, I'd rather not know what's going on out there, and I'll just stay here and do my little corner. There is a point as well. I know I'm getting very philosophical here. I think it's the rum. Does that not kind of, the more you learn about the experiences people had during the Second World War, it paints the post-war activities in a completely different light.
Well, context is everything, so yeah. Right?
And you're like, well, why would people do that? Why would you worry about this? Why would you not worry about that? Why would you just be like, actually, no, I've had worse. Or, actually, no, I want better because I went through a lot worse.
That's why you get the NHS.
Yeah, that's why Churchill gets slung out and replaced by a Labour government straight after.
Yeah, almost immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Interesting. Okay, sorry. Back to our lovely patrons and their lovely questions. Daryl Noonan, what era of war do you think they will put Italy in? Maybe late war?
Space.
Sorry, late mid-war or early late war? And do you think there would be any new models for it? If so, what? So first one, what era? Is it going to be mid-war or is it going to be late war?
Late war. It'll be late war, but it'll be very much the start of late war because obviously the lag in equipment means you don't get stuff like Fireflies until quite late and that kind of stuff.
Yes. I think also because I agree, but more for the German kit.
Well, the German kit's Panzer IIIs. They got Panzer IIIs in Berlin.
Correct, but the infantry.
Panzerfaust and stuff like that.
The shift to the defending infantry, because the mid-war German infantry is all still very much
anti-tank rifle, yeah.
Anti-tank rifle. We've got all the gear, we're attacking. Whereas the late war German infantry is, we've run out of gear, we've run out of people. Here's what we've got. Here's the best of what we've got. Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be nice if actually they did 2 books, an early one and a mid one? So they did Sicily and up to.
I mean, they wouldn't need.
Just
They wouldn't really need 2 books, would they? It would just be a couple of unit cards.
That's what I mean.
And the current book kind of covers Sicily, really. That's all covered really by the North Africa book.
Yeah, it absolutely does not cover Sicily. How dare you?
Contention.
Well, it does on the Allied side.
On the German side, it doesn't. There's no card for Hermann Goering. There's no card for 90th. No, 90th on Sardinia, actually. It's not on Sicily. What's the other one? Is it 15th Panzer? No, there's a Panzer Grenadier Regiment with Hermann Goering.
We said 10th Panzer joined Tunisia, if that's what you think.
No, it's a Panzer Grenadier Regiment. It might be. It's definitely not 90th. 90th was in Sardinia. I'll have to go back over it. But yeah, they haven't got any cards for those. You can take Tigers, but you can't. You need a formation of Tigers, really, or a platoon of them at that point as well. Because they did have platoons of Tigers in Sicily. They deployed them en masse, and they got destroyed en masse.
Can I repeat my favourite Tiger 131 factoid?
Sure.
I know I have said before, but it's my favourite. I just love it so much. So there's a turret bin which has the original lock, but it is locked in the open position. So there's a little padlock on the turret bin latch, but it's locked it open, which has never been removed. So if you think about the history of Tiger 131, how it got captured, it got paraded around, it got repainted, it had the was it the Guards shield painted on the front of it? Not the Guard shield.
Let's say, wasn't Guards Cuckoo?
Yeah, no. Anyway, it was paraded around as a trophy piece. It was taken to all the trials and all that stuff. But because this padlock was locked open and therefore wasn't in anyone's way, it's stayed on the tank.
Yeah.
And it's never had to be removed because they painted over it. They've done all the, it's not been in the way. So the last time that padlock was locked was sometime before its final operational battle.
Yeah.
And it's sat there ever since, which I thought was pretty cool.
Need a better locksmith.
Somebody did that and think, I'll sort that out tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, who's going to open this? Oh, surprisingly, quite a few people.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So you think early, late war?
Yeah.
Do we think there's going to be any new models for it?
No, I think the best we can hope for is a re-release of some of the metals.
The Hermann Goering Company in infantry.
And sort of Daimlers?
That kind of thing.
Have the Daimlers come back? Were they in... No.
We've got plastic Daimlers, Staghounds for New Zealand.
No, there's Sawn-offs.
The Sawn-offs. The Sawn-offs were very much in mainland Europe, Northern Europe.
As well. I thought they were an Italy thing.
I don't think they're in Italy, no.
What's the one with the... What's the turret this one they fired a Piat out of instead?
That's a Sawn-off Daimler.
Right.
But I don't recall them being
thought that
in
was
their
an Italy invention because they realised that the 2 centimetre was rubbish and the turret was crap for going through these Italian towns. Oh.
Maybe we're in Italy too. I just know they sort of got done in Normandy. They introduced in Normandy.
Well, I think I seem to remember it being an Italian battlefield mod where they took the turret off and then put the 50 cal turret ring on.
So the Americans standardized a Stuart Jalopy basically as a T
Jalopy.
Jalopy, yeah. So maybe that's what you're thinking of. Because that used to be in the lists, the American conversion of it.
Was that in Italy?
That was in Italy, yeah.
Right, that might be it then. That might be where I'm confusing.
I don't think there's going to be too many additional armoured vehicles. I'd like to see the 105 Semaventi come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Only because I need some more.
That's a mid-war monster right now, isn't it?
Nope.
Oh, no, that's long.
That's a Semaventi long.
Yeah. The 105's the
wider hole.
The stew, yeah. It's essentially the stew. I'd like to see that come back. But in terms of the infantry, you've got the Guam infantry, haven't you, for the British? Some Indians would be nice.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think that they're missing, and that would be a good way to
That
include
was
them.
one of the. I think it was Evan who sculpted the range at that point, and they are some of the nicest models. So full of character.
Yeah.
And they're missing overall, and they're quite different. And you could easily there's a card I think for them in the mid-war ones, isn't there? South Africans, Indians, and Australians. So you could, there's a place for them to live.
Hashtag please Battlefront.
Yeah.
Well, they've made precedent now by bringing back some of them, like the other metal.
Yeah, they brought back the bold stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, and brought exactly, and we've had Berlin metals.
Oh, don't tempt me! Don't tempt me, Duncan.
Yes,
you can't. You can't get them. Apparently, they're a lot of them are out of stock now.
Oh, damn!
Like the HJ and the Foxton.
I don't wait. When new releases, don't wait. Get your orders.
No, if they do bring the Italian stuff, I will just have to
dump
out
cash, make it rain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello, Battlefront. I'd like to sell my soul.
Make Monte Cassino look like a light shower. Wessex Matt.
Poor Matt.
Distraction from the main event. Wessex Matt asks, as you guys are probably aware, this year we will have Making You Talk Fest, which is our Murray and James Holland's podcast, but the festival version, we need to go to that.
Oh, the We Have Ways Fest, yeah.
We Have Ways, yeah. Is all about the war in 1943. Ooh. If you were attending, what operation or battle would you choose to showcase for Flames of War? So if we were... It's a good question, man. Well done.
To showcase for Flames of War?
Yep.
What, for World War II?
Yeah, so 1943 is the theme. If you had to do a demonstration game for We Have Ways Fest for 1943, watch...
Not Kursk. Not Kursk. Because everyone does Kursk, and it's not that great.
I would do Plimsoll Bridge.
Plimsoll Bridge?
Yeah, it's one where it was one of the bridges along the sort of the I'll probably get the name wrong. I keep calling it Plimsoll Bridge, and I think it is called Plimsoll Bridge. But it's along the east coast of Sicily. So the British are advancing up
Bridge.
There.
You're right. It is called Plimsoll Bridge.
It is Plimsoll Bridge, yeah.
Yep.
And basically, it's like a British air landing operation to capture the bridge, and they capture it. The Fallschirmjäger basically parachute in more or less the same time and launch a counterattack as soon as they hit the ground.
Holy crap!
Eventually pushed the British paratroops off the bridge, just as the armour arrives, and then they counterattack and regain the bridge.
Oh my god! Literally, you could not make that up, could you? If you put that into a movie, they'd be like, "No, this is ridiculous."
Yeah, it's implausible. Did you know they did that with Zhukov's medals in Death of Stalin?
See, I saw that thing. Someone posted it on Facebook earlier.
I'm thinking that's plausible.
I thought someone should pop a picture later of him in his ceremonial garb, and it looks more or less the same number of medals. Like they haven't actually reduced it down.
Maybe add some more after the war.
Yeah, but I do like the idea that they had to reduce it down because otherwise it looked too comical. In the film, it is entirely a comedy.
Oh, is that what you're saying? They in the movie they reduced the number of medals because the real number of medals was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though they're clearly playing it up in the thing where he takes off his jacket and flexes the medals. It's,
so you go British in Sicily for 43.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
For me, I'll give you 5 points if you can guess what I'm going to pick. Although I am now doubting my my year.
Oh god, is it in the Far East?
No.
Okay.
I'm just googling. Dunk, if you know what you're going for.
No,
I'll give you two. Dunkirk was not in 1943.
Oh no.
What?
No, I've got the wrong year.
What was it?
Game over. It's 41.
Oh, a long way out.
Yeah, exactly. Mine was the Battle of Crete. That was 40. Yeah, totally wrong. Totally wrong. Ignore me. History is a lie.
I mean, Kasserine, maybe?
Oh.
Was Kasserine 43?
Kasserine's 43, yeah.
Okay. That would be quite an interesting one. I think you're limited as well, aren't you? 'Cause,
No,
well, I think is it early 43 or late 42? I can't remember.
February's 40 now.
February's
Yeah.
43. No, you're right.
Okay.
Kasserine Pass.
Yeah.
19th to 24th of February, 1943.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
You guys are consummate historians. I suck.
But that might be interesting because it's
What's
obviously
that by 2
the
years?
the American. Surely that was the Albert Speer historical document. Oh yeah, that was definitely 43. Yeah, 100%. It's like, was it? Sure. But yeah, I mean I think that'd be an interesting one to do because obviously it's the first sort of blooding of the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nasty, actually, the Kasserine.
Yeah, you got all the cool stuff like the tank destroyers actually doing tank destroyer doctrine and stuff like that for the one, but the only time they do it in the entire war.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to be saucy, surely you could do Husky. Husky must be 43.
I said Husky like multiple times, and Eddie was leading up the question.
Oh right, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Husky would be my go-to. You could do like a whole bunch of linked games. It'd be really cool having like the landings on the beach, the completely messed up air assault.
Which was Husky? Husky's the
invasion of Sicily, the actual
Sicily.
So it's
a little island to the south of
Italy.
So they sail from Tunisia and actually hit.
Because the other thing is you could have that smug look on your face when someone comes up and goes, "Oh, is that D-Day?" And you go, "No, actually."
I think you're fine.
Well, I think you're fine. No, but Lee's right as well. The airborne stuff as well. You could have some of the stuff they had on that. That's where they released the gliders too soon for the Americans.
Yeah. Yes,
and the ones that did make it then got shot by the Navy because they thought they were flying bombs or something. It was like,
they were very confused. It was an absolute. But the thing is, it was an absolute car crash. But they still did it, and without doing it, they would never have done D-Day. They learned so many lessons.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where it's unfortunate that it had to happen like that, but sorry. I think that there are some Eastern Front ones. I just don't think.
There's Kharkov.
Is Kharkov 43? Which one?
The Warsaw Uprising.
44.
April.
No, it's not. It's 44. Warsaw Uprising is 44.
No, 1943.
Don't think it is.
44.
I'm pretty sure
it says the Russians are approaching, so it's got to be 44.
Start of the Warsaw Uprising, 19th of April, 43. Because Citadel is in June that year.
Sounds way too early, yeah.
I mean, the start, it doesn't necessarily mean...
Oh, yeah, it might be like the civil unrest and that kind of thing. But
yeah,
the actual
start of the German withdrawal from Kursk is the 16th of July.
Kursk is an interesting... I mean, the only... Yeah. It's just not.
Mussolini versus Lamppost, no?
The undefeated champion of Southern Europe is the Lamppost. Yeah. Oh dear.
Battle of Tawa.
Is that's the Tara was the island one, isn't it? It's the first the island hopping ones.
Yeah, that's end of 43.
Could you do something a bit abstract? Could you do like I suppose you could do Battle of the Atlantic. There you go. Do Battle of the Atlantic. That'll upset them all.
Yeah, Flames of War, Battle of the Atlantic.
Yeah, there's no models on the table. Oh. But the good news is you can make sonar noise.
So in February, Ord Wingate, along with 3,000 of his Chindits, crossed the Chindwin River on their march into Burma, taking the fight to the Japanese. That's the complete forgotten front, isn't it?
Well, Chindits, definitely one of those things I'm looking forward to when they do Pacific properly.
Got the end of Stalingrad in January. Interesting. 43 is such a strange year, isn't it?
43 is the Gooch year, isn't it?
Yeah. Japanese are driven out of the Gilbert Islands in November. In November 28th, there was the start of the Tehran Conference, which is the first time the Big Three met.
Oh, it's a Hungarian tank, isn't it? Oh no, that's the Tehran 2. Oh, that must have been the second one.
Tehran.
Yeah, Taran.
December was the sinking of the Scharnhorst. Thank you, historic-uk.com, for
For
telling
all
me
your
that
content, yeah.
Operation Mercury was not in 1943. All just blurs into one.
You can actually do a recreation of the Japanese soldiers still on the Soviet border during 1943. Just doing nothing. 500, 600,000 troops were tied up there.
It's mad.
It is a weird year because it's a year of tremendous stuff and then not a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Tremendous changes, but the real changes were kind of just spinning up.
Well, no, you kind of get the double blow of Stalingrad and Tunisia, don't you?
Yeah.
And then you get the utter devastation of Kursk. But it seems to go in fits and starts. There's just massive things that happen.
Well,
but it's not.
Yeah, because 42 is basically the sort of the changeover point, and
Yeah.
but 43 is where you start seeing the results of that changeover. So you see Tunisia, the Germans basically trapped in Tunisia, and you lose a whole army. You see the the Kursk Operation Citadel, and the Soviets really gaining momentum going forward now in the Far East. After that point, they never stop. It's just a continuous assault, pretty much.
And then in the Pacific, you've got, in the middle of it, in May, you've got the Battle of the Coral Sea.
Yeah. Iron Bottom Sound.
Because it starts off with the Japanese just expanding, and then midway is June 1942.
And then, wow.
That's definitely the high water mark.
Oh my God. The more I learn about Midway, the more I'm just enamored. Such a crazy turning point for the Pacific campaign.
I love the way they just, they worked out what was happening by just getting them to send reports and just working out what the code word was by.
Yep. Yeah. We've run out of water. And then, was it Coppola was actually there?
What, Francis Ford?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was there as one of the war correspondents. There's footage of him on the standing on Midway, filming the attack on the actual island. The ensign's like, "Get down, sir," and he's like, "Shut up."
Yeah, this is dynamite.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, literally, it's high explosive, but yeah, the footage is good too.
Yeah. Midway, was it Coppola?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola. No, it was at Midway.
So that's an interesting question, especially for Flames,
because it is kind of that it's that period which kind of gets skipped over, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So not Operation Mercury for me. Carl Stopperson asks, now that all the late war books have been released and World War II is over,
yep,
or is it? What are your favourites?
Favourite books? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a question.
Do you want me to go first? I know mine. I've thought about this before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Go on then.
The Bulge.
Which one?
Well, just the German and American Bulge books.
No. He said book, Eddie. Book is singular. It's not like
All
sheep.
All right, the German one then.
Oh.
And the American one. Because the point mainly being...
You like cheating?
Yeah. I'll make your own rules, thanks. It's the only time you flip the dynamic between the army building. So all of a sudden you have super aggressive German lists in the late war dynamic. Let me be clear. It's the time you flip the late war dynamic between the German lists and the Allied lists, and you get the chance as a late war American to be defensive, and you get the chance to be late war German aggressive.
Right.
And they have unique characteristics that I think translate really well to the Flames of War battlefield in terms of having snowboards, having the different weather, having the really different, stats units, the camouflaged, Stugs, camouflaged Panthers,
The Scorzini,
and all the assault rifle, wielding Volkssturm. No, Volksgrenadiers.
Volksgrenadiers.
Volkssturm is the Berlin ones. Volksgrenadiers are the reformed, German infantry.
Where they decide firepower is more important than manpower.
Yeah, exactly. Versus Bulge or defence lines. And that's another thing. The more you learn about the Bulge, the more you realise, actually, by the time they got to Bastogne, it was all kind of over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was almost like a foregone conclusion. Yes, it was terrible. And yes, Bastogne was a nightmare for the defenders. And I'm not taking away from the efforts of the people involved there. But actually, the holding actions before then that have been largely forgotten and overshadowed.
Yeah, the Battle Babies one. Mm-hmm.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. The stories of just holding out with a bazooka and pluck and courage until you run out of ammo versus an absolutely overwhelming number of attackers.
But the fact they stalled there,
exactly. They stalled. They run out of puff before they got to Bastogne, and then Bastogne was the last brick they smashed their face against.
Mm-hmm.
But had they not had all that stuff stopping them in the way, they probably would have rolled over it in the early days. So for me, the two Bulge, and because it is so niche, I don't think it's had at least in my groups and my experience, it hasn't had the table time it deserves, which is why I'm most excited about it.
Okay. Duncan, what's yours?
Obviously the SS books are fantastic.
Terrain, pull up.
That's probably my least favourite. It just doesn't do anything. It's just
I love playing the baddies.
Yeah, but it's just the fact is that it could have just been they could have been cards. It didn't need a book. Didn't need a book. Anyway, that's not the point.
I would agree. Apart from it was very, very early on in the late war story arc. Because they did that, by the D-Day SS book, yes, because they did have different equipment and different stuff, and then later on they did realise, it's just the same stuff with different stats, so we give them cards.
Well, yeah, they're fearless instead of confident.
Fearless aggressive,
and they're aggressive instead of careful. That's it.
The biggest thing I need to point out, and I do need to give props to, is the breaking of the uber, elite SS from previous versions.
Yes. Hammering these guys are, have been beaten to burger, basically.
Yeah, they've beaten the crap out. The only person who believes they're the best of the best is them.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't run away. But that's why
they've been beaten to burger.
Yes, that's
what you're building.
Often not what you need to have done in that instance. And a trained professional soldier would have gone, you know what, this is ridiculous. Why die here? Let's fall back, regroup, and add our strength to someone else.
So you say that. That's interesting, because they fell back from Kharkov three times. And the perception is that they were the only ones that could have done that because of their political, reliability. So if an army unit had done it, they'd have gone,
cowards.
Yeah, that's Eastern Front, isn't it?
Yeah, but also, that's what I'm saying, is at that point, there were still reasonably good fighting formations. But Normandy, they were just
in Normandy. That's what I'm talking about. The Normandy, the junk that's been sent over there. That is
the 17-year-old schoolboys that are now part of the 12th SS, for example.
Yeah, who've grown up in the regime of Nazis and believe all the BS they've been told, and
so
three Nazis walk into a bar.
Yeah, all fall over. Yeah. My favourite late war book. I think it might be the British.
Which one? D-Day
British
or
D-Day?
Bulge?
No, Bulge is poo.
Okay.
Outrageous slander.
Poo. Because it was the first one where I really thought, actually, looking at these and combined with the command cards, it actually made sense. It was the
It's pretty tasty.
And it's just the way that it was. I'm not talking about tasty. It's also on the naughty list for the most egregious misuse of any formation book ever with the command cards.
About, Dunk?
But I just think it was the first chink we saw that there was sort of an interesting development in terms of the way the command cards worked, and that
Sure.
you
Kind
could
of hit the stride with what is possible.
exactly, and turning something very vanilla and just giving you a load of options that made it slightly less vanilla, and that you could, really look at every division and go, there's something different here if I want to play
Mhm.
the Wessex guys, or I want to play the Grenadier Guards, or whoever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I had a similar opinion, but a different book.
What did you think
Okay.
it was on? The Bulge Americans?
No, D-Day Americans.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
D-Day Americans, I think it's the best book mainly because it establishes straight away late war is a very different beast to mid war, and it's good. Everything's good. Everything's gonna be better.
My M12s.
Well, so far as like you say, the command cards will no longer be stupid X-wing deadshot or marksman or anything like that. You now had all these like the citizen soldier units, that kind of thing. All the different command cards adjust very slightly. The units be different, like divisions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The actual book structure was much better. You had much more detail, much more granularity. A much wider variety of units being included. It set late war off in the correct direction straight from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And given how mid war had kind of floundered, it found its feet certainly by the Italian and American books. But D-Day American had to get it right, being the first proper book. Fortress Europe was there, but it's not really the.
That's not. I mean, that's just a cut and paste job, isn't it?
Well, I quite like Fortress. I've grown to love Fortress Europe.
I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just saying it's a cut and paste job from version 3.
I do like the fact Fortress Europe stayed relevant.
Exactly. I don't like that fact because it shouldn't have, but yes.
But it gave you all the building blocks for all 4 nations.
Yeah, and let you do the things you wanted to do within the framework. So I'm going to take Carl's question and I'm going to twist it a little bit into its alternative reading.
What's the worst book?
No, not even that. Not that twisted. Because he asked, now that all the late war books have been released and World War II is over, what are your favourites? As in, what is your favourite book throughout mid to late that's been released for version 4? What's your favourite version 4 book? Is there a mid war that trumps your late war choice?
No. I don't think so.
I'd love to say yes, but the answer is no. Like the mid war books, I like my mid war Hungarians, but.
Just a little too swingy, isn't it?
And it's too bland. Like I know everything's very like is a Panzer Grenadier in it, and that's fine. But once you've seen one Panzer Grenadier in it, like
it's Ronsil, isn't it? It does the job. It does what it says.
Exactly what it says. Yeah,
but it doesn't.
The best book actually for mid war, I think, was the redone British one. There you go.
Oh, interesting.
Hammer
Fist, yeah.
Because it needed to be redone.
And it did bring it up to the same standard as, let's say, Italian and American books, which had,
they were a game changer when they came out, weren't they?
It showed, I think Battlefront learnt their lessons from the first 2 books and really upped the game at that point. So.
And hats off, because that's difficult to do, man.
What, turn around and go, actually, we need to do this, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We need to eat humble pie and make this better.
It's not. No. I don't think that the British Desert Rats book was unplayable. I think it had limitations.
It wasn't unplayable. It was just so like you only had like 2 options.
You had all
you're sitting there going. So I've gone from It's such a step change from the mid-war. Sorry, the version 3 mid-war book to this tiny pamphlet. Like the hardcover is half the thickness of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that comes down to
I remember looking at it going, okay, right, where's my Matildas?
Exactly. It's like, this book's about LMA. Great, where's the Sherman? Oh, we're not doing the Sherman in this book. Okay.
Okay. So how many books are you going to release now? I mean, I don't know. It's been 96 episodes and we're still excited about it. Or at least I am.
About what?
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I still enjoy playing desert games. I always just wish the Germans they'd gone back and just fleshed Germans out rather than forcing to use Eastern Front lists to do the job instead. Yeah,
I get that.
Well, Tunisia book.
Well, just got, like I say, put in the Tunisia stuff. So, like, Panzergrenadier, the proper Panzergrenadiers, and later pattern Panzers.
Is there any actual difference, or is it just
No.
they're in the wrong book?
No, that's the thing.
Colours?
Don't get me wrong. You can use for Eastern Front
Right.
books to do it. It's just the fact you have to use the Eastern Front books to do it.
I get you.
As you know, when you're TOing and trying to do a theatre book, you have to say, "Oh, by the way, you can also use these lists on the Eastern Front." It just gets a bit messy.
Yeah, but only these lists. You can't use these ones.
Yeah.
No wild cards. No assault tanks. Yeah.
No broom-bar companies.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't think there's any books that replace it. If they released compilations and hadn't put mid-war monsters in the way they had, I might have said the compilations might have trumped it, but
sure,
because they are integrated in so much to the point where it's really hard for you to take them out. And we know, there are players who know the history, and there are players who this is their first local war game and don't appreciate, what they're looking at, and that's no fault of their own. They'll take this unit thinking it's a legitimate unit.
Yeah, and they're used to playing like 40k or something like that, where the book is the book, and whatever's in the book you can take in the book, and that's fine.
And it's the same in Flames of War, but you need a bit of guidance. And I remember you saying that's about the mid-war monster. Was it the Italian P40, whatever heavy tank?
Yeah, the
fact they put it in as a formation without denoting it as a mid-war monster formation.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
So you could go, oh, they had this in the and that
it's all service, just not with the Italians.
It was done by the Germans in Italy, was it?
Yeah, it's like second-rate German units.
Yeah. By late war, at which point it's totally outclassed.
Mm-hmm. This heavy tank was distinctly medium,
and that, I mean, there is an element of Battlefront have made themselves a bit of a rod for their own back in being the historical educators as well as the providers of the rules. But at the same time, that was a unique selling point for them in previous versions, because before, during the mists of time, Fez travels through history, wargaming history, that is. Battlefront, I believe, was one of the first manufacturers to go, right, here's a blister of German Panzer Grenadiers.
Here's the platoon. No, yeah.
Here's the platoon.
This is your platoon.
Yeah, exactly. And it has the anti-tank rifle you need, and it has the command squad you need. And
as opposed to go to Peter Pig and buy a blister of Bren guns, you only need one of them or something like that. And,
which now sounds ridiculous, but that is what it used to be like, kids. You used to have to go and think, right.
And by the way, you go there and you think you wouldn't have a picture of what you want. You just got to hope it's a code list.
It would be a code list. It would be a faxed list of codes with Germans with rifles. 4 of, and you go, right, well, how many of those do I need? All right, okay, I'll add those in. And then, I need an anti-tank rifle, and this is the name. And does it have the loader? I don't know. Do I need to add an extra guy? I don't know. It doesn't. I can't see it. I don't know what the sculpts are. And that is why Salute was one of the key shows in the world, because it was the only place you could go to the manufacturer and go, what does these models look like? Yeah. Oh, they look like dog poop. I'm not ordering from you. What do your models look like? Oh, they're really good. Oh,
how dare you bring irregular miniatures into this, Eddie?
Oh, and your models do come with a loader, so I only need to order one of those code. Right, well, I have one of those, 5 of those, 6 of those, 27 of those, and I'll make my platoon. Whereas Battlefront were one of the first manufacturers to go, that's ridiculous. If you buy a platoon, you get everything you need for that platoon.
And they don't have sextile faces. So,
they old school Peter Pig sextile faces, yes.
Mm. Old school.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. the OG Peter Pigs one.
Putting the O in OG.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I've got some Peter Pig figures, and apart from the faces, they're pretty good. It's just
they're good.
That bowling ball face.
Even then, I've got a soft spot, he says, for the O face figures, because even then you paint them and
they look fine.
You can't really tell.
It's just that since Mike's pointed that out to me, I can't now unsee it. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
So now I see Only Fools and Horses sketches every time.
There is listener awareness. There is a 15% off code if you go to Peter Pig.
Is there?
I think it's I think it's cheers with an exclamation mark. They're going to a wedding or something for the next month or so. But if you go to their Facebook page, they've posted up a code which gives you a discount off orders.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So if you need something. If you need a group of things because unfortunately their ordering system isn't amazing in terms of
it's
value for small orders. You need to bulk it to make it worthwhile.
And the website has got better. Like most arrangements now have photos.
Yes, now they're slowly catching up with the
other
age.
thing I would say is if you like pre-molded tanks and things like that, the forged in battle stuff has also got 25% off at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're clearing out their range though.
No, it's all on everything.
Yeah, I think in general. I tried to pick up some Nebel
Nebly Werfers.
Stuka Delphus. The
Delphus?
Salute, and they didn't have any.
Oh, okay. Well, it's 25% off. Don't tell me that because I bought a load of ancients, and I'd quite like to have an
I don't
army
know.
of
I mean,
them.
this is my perception. I went there and went, oh, okay. And they've got a load of random crap, but all the main lines are sold out, and they haven't bought them with them. It's a bit weird. But
thanks, Eddie.
Speculating. That's me speculating.
That's the planted that seed.
Fezzivision.
2020 Fez Vision. Yeah.
Yeah. I still regret not getting a 15mm mouse. Not mouse, rat.
I was going to say, if you said mouse again, that threat about the cobbler still stands because there's no. Oh, why is there no?
I asked Javi to tell me something funny.
Yeah.
And he actually did come back after our little joke about Russian Soviet infantry.
Carpart fellatio, I thought you were going to say.
Carpart fellatio.
Yeah.
And goes...
Their new album's out as well, by the way, if you want to pick that up.
If you think I'm being grumpy, now, just wait till late war Leviathan lands.
Yeah.
Which is all the supposed rumours about them having Panther 2s, Mouses, and E series is.
And Churchill Mark 1s. Don't forget the Churchill Mark 1s.
Oh God!
Oh, did you see? Actually, breaking news here. I actually verified this because I haven't really noticed. In Clash of Steel, it came with a pair of IS 152s, right? And someone noticed saying, "What's his third barrel?" Everyone's going, "What third barrel? There's only two barrels on that sprue." And then he put a photo up, and I looked at my sprues, and there's indeed a third barrel on the sprue now. So you got your 122, your 152, but also a 130mm barrel. And I think it's for another late Leviathan would be ISU 130.
Fantasy Panzer, ruining the game. Fantasy Panzer.
I kind of appreciate they actually built it on there, but
it's the incorporation into the actual rule set. It's the issue. It's not the fact they exist.
Again, yeah. If it's a separate Operation Unthinkable book,
super.
That's fine. That's cool. I can dig that.
Well, I think it will. I think it will be separate because everything they've done so far has
like Mid-War Monsters.
Any kind of big compilations, I think it has to be a separate book.
They're not going to do a late war compilation, are they? Because they're still reprinting and selling the books.
And how do you do a late war compilation? It'd be the size of
exactly
the Library of Alexandria.
Well, I think you'd have to go back to doing you have a Bulge compilation, a D-Day compilation, and a Bagration compilation.
Sure,
I've got a Bulge compilation.
Right here.
Yeah.
Martin Turner, no relation, asks, how many other things has Duncan painted and finished since he started the Basij project?
I actually feel victimised now at this point. It's been enough. A lot. I've nearly finished this platoon. Just shut up. I can only paint so fast.
How many? So once you do that platoon, how many more have you got left?
6.
6 platoons.
6 companies, yeah.
Oh yeah, 6. Yeah.
6 companies.
That's because
how many companies have you painted?
This will be number 7.
What? You have 13 companies of Basij?
Yeah, because I wanted the full size formation. If you do the full size formation, it's 4 lots of 25 bases plus the RPGs. I think it's 700 figures or something. I think I can't remember. It's a lot. I made a mistake. I ordered the wrong amount, and then they turned up, and I couldn't work out how to return them.
Duncan,
I'm sure it's 6. There's 13 stands in each packet. 9.
And how many packets have you got?
I've had 13. That's what I'm saying. There's 9 AK stands and 4 RPGs.
And you have 13 of those.
Yeah. Of which nearly 7 are painted now.
I just want to know Like, how are you transporting these models?
I'm just putting them in really useful boxes. And then I'm just going to turn up with them, and then we're going to play a game, and it'll take me all the 2.5 hours to set up. Yeah.
Be like Dirty John with his bag of T-34s.
I'm going to cackle. I want to take on these challenges. And just run at them
laugh in salvo template, but then it would take us 45 years to figure out the hit resolution.
Yeah. Laughs in Teen Magazine.
Yeah. I ranged in. Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't.
So, yeah, I mean, they're not great, but I think they're 25 points. I think you can do a 100-point army, which is just the Basij formation.
So, off the top of your head, not holding you to it, what have you painted since you started to now?
Hold on.
Project-wise. Not even units, just projects.
So, Darren said 35. Was it 35, he said, didn't he? Yeah, episode 35.
Yeah.
So, project-wise, okay. Let me think. It's going to be... So, I found that Stud Company that I forgot about.
So it's a whole Stud Company you've painted and forgotten about.
Stud Company, Panzer IV Company, the King Tiger Company they've just done, the whole Hungarian army, which, the Operation Blackcock British.
Yep.
There'll be some more.
What did you take to warfare?
Oh, all my Soviets.
Yep.
So every Soviet in the third Eurasian front.
That's right, because you had the Sturmovik, didn't you? That killed the most units and got the prize. You won your own prize at a time.
I won my own prize, but I thought someone better, have some friendly competition, and no one else took a plane. I think I won by default.
No, I think it was one other person with playing.
Was there? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mike Clarker came close with his Typhoons, but then you pipped him by in the last game, destroying
completely murdering the entire.
murdering
a platoon.
Oh, that's right. It was the tank destroyers that all clustered nicely together.
No. He went.
No, I think I just bombed them at that point. Just bombs away.
Even with bombs are green.
Yep.
Oh, I never range in. Oh, I did. Oh,
no,
I did.
the Thermovics, I only ever go bombs. Bombs and rockets is the way forward. Yeah.
Jesus.
Don't need cannons, baby.
Are they trained in late war?
Nope.
Still green?
I think they're still green. They might be trained, even if they're trained. Yeah.
You're my hero.
The Iranians, the rest of the Iranians.
The rest of the army, yeah.
It's been a few things, especially.
Lee's allergic to your painting list.
Yeah. There's been quite a lot of German formations. I went through that stage where I just thought I'd better have some, for example, the Stugs. Oh, Hetzer Company.
Hetzer Company.
Yeah. So, a few things.
Amazing. Quite a lot then, Martin, is the answer.
A disappointingly large amount now that I've actually gone through it.
No, it's not disappointing. It's to be awarded. It's to be applauded, and you've painted a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just not.
That's not a bad thing.
Not Iranian teenagers.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll get around to it, and by that point, Lee and I will have an army that's worth throwing against them.
Yeah, Iraqis at some point too.
Exactly. Oh my god, I got my desert T-72s.
There you go. Yeah, you bring your desert T-72s. Hello, Bob.
Boom.
Yeah.
Major Red Soren asks, is there any way to build a competitive Cossack-based army, or does competitive and cavalry just not go together?
I mean, Martin built a cavalry force, so there must be something there.
Speak to Martin.
Well, I think they're basically just infantry, aren't they? Also in mid-war or late war, because do they not change?
Are Cossacks in both? I can't remember.
Yeah, they're in both.
We're not the place for your Cossack-based knowledge repository.
I think you're just paying a premium for them moving fast on the off chance that you move fast.
I just really, really hope that when Early War comes out, they have the Japanese cavalry, because otherwise I am going to be sad.
No, you're not. You're going to be rich, because then you'll sell them and people will still buy them because they want them.
Well, they won't buy them because they're not in the latest rule set.
They will. It doesn't work like that.
Always the V3 holdouts.
You think there'll be some V3 holdout going, I really need a Japanese cavalry army, and Fez has got 3 boxes. Yeah, that's true. That probably would happen.
Prove me wrong.
Whether I could find those boxes, however. Cossacks have not been competitive until they were over competitive in version 3. I think my opinion is it's a case, and it's just an opinion. It's not a thought through, thesis. It's just once bitten, twice shy in terms of Cossacks being too good.
But I mean, the whole cavalry shouldn't be charging anyway. They shouldn't
Exactly. And they had the whole machine gun Maxim on the back of a wagon nonsense.
Yeah, still
in
got
version
that.
3, it was super powerful. Yeah, but what I'm saying is in version 3, it was ridiculously good. And I think they kind of went, we're going to hit that with a Nerf cannon because everyone's taking it. So, yeah.
Well, that's the rule.
And I think that's going to happen the same to my Japanese cavalry.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what you do with the cavalry in terms of support.
Yeah.
Because that's probably where it's going to pull through, I would imagine. I can't remember now off the top of my head. I'll have to have a look. But I don't see why they can't be competitive because they're Soviet infantry.
Yeah.
Are they good Soviet infantry?
No, the Cossacks.
Way. I mean, if you've got a popularist uprising that is going on as well, they're definitely the troops you want to deploy. They absolutely crush. I'll have to have a look. I don't see
it's
why
a bit
not.
more of an in-depth thing.
Maybe we can do a you and his army next time on Cossacks.
Oh, interesting. That'd be fun.
There you go. How to spend a lot of money on some
mediocre toys.
Mediocre toys.
I mean, if you love Cossacks, you're going to do them anyway. So what's the point? Don't worry if they're competitive. Make the army.
You're not allowed to love Cossacks. They're a man's man.
Yeah, you need to drink Old Spice for breakfast.
Exactly.
Carl Stockperson, getting a two for one, asks, what are your favourite stories about soldiers stealing things during any of the podcast relevant wars?
Soldiers stealing things? I mean, any of the German stuff that they misappropriated across the entirety of World War II.
Right. I have a specific thing for this, which I know I've told you guys before, and only Darren will remember, so that's okay. So my introduction to Flames of War was the old version 3, I want to say, version 2 maybe, Villas Bocage book.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you said before, yeah.
Right, so Villas Bocage, which has Panzer Lehr, and obviously SS Führer, whatever his face, Whitman's Wild Ride.
Yeah, where he shot a lot of trucks. Yeah.
Where he shot a lot of trucks and they all hyped it up out of all proportion. But the morning of Whitman's Wild Ride, an SS Panzer Lehr reconnaissance, not even company, like headquarters, went out to scout where the British, how far the British had got. I think they're in their Schwimmwagen, actually, which will trigger Duncan.
3 points.
Yep. They went out their 3-point Schwimmwagen and they came across a troop of Cromwells which had pulled up on the side of a road and had all gotten out, and the officers, and they were typical British thing, they're all taking morning tea, and the officers are all crowded down the middle of the column, with all their crews looking at the day's battle plan because they were about to advance further into enemy territory. And this Panzer Lehr officer had realised that they didn't have any sentries. They weren't, very obscurity was not high. So cautiously, he crept to the head of the column, to the empty Cromwell, and basically got in it and stole the whole tank.
That'll do it.
Which to me is absolutely mind-blowing to think that, you could just get in an enemy's vehicle, risk that there's no one in it, figure out how to start the bloody thing, and then drive off in it before they realise what's going on. But, I mean, apparently it's a true story, so I'm sticking with it. Panzer Lehr officer stealing a Cromwell.
So my favourite one, favourite one is there in Pacific. There's a photo of a M4 Sherman. On the back deck of it is a Japanese tankette they've lashed down onto the engine deck.
I've seen that.
It's fantastic. It's just like literally, what you done? I stole a tank. I put the back of my tank.
It's like the AA.
Yeah. This is my runaround tank. If my tank gets bogged down, I get on into this one.
Did you see that someone had done that with a camper van? So there was a big RV thing, and it had like a smart car, like lashed to the back of it. It'd be like that. Oh no, that's for day trips.
Yeah, no, it's my runaround.
I don't really have one. I don't really know of any stories where they nick stuff. I mean, there's the Gulf War stuff where the British apparently just nicked whatever the Americans left lying around, like all the special ops stuff. Well, that's Andy McNabb writing that, so God knows if it's true.
Well, there is the story of the US prisoner of war pilot who broke out and stole the German ground. He broke out, went to the nearest airfield. So he broke out prison war camp, went to the nearest German airfield, and there was a Focke-Wulf 190 that had just been started up, and the ground crew got out to let it warm up whilst the pilot was getting ready. This guy was like, well, screw this, and basically ran over, jumped in, and just took off in it.
Oh, God.
And he's sitting there going, I think the memoir goes something like, I just advanced the throttles pointing to the middle of the field. I just got flying speed when I realised that I couldn't read German, so I didn't know what the heck wheels up was. He's looking around this completely foreign cockpit going, I think this does this. I think that does that.
Off we go.
And then he's like, and it was a great idea until he starts heading off west back towards his own lines. And now he's like, so how am I going to
communicate
down on him? Just, how what happens next? I haven't thought this through, have I? But I think he managed to, with his wheels down, a lot of wing waggling, he managed to communicate that he wanted to land and got himself down in one piece. Which was an incredible story, really.
Yeah.
It's all very good in video games. Not so much if you playing the Legacy edition of Game of Life. We have another couple, he says, which is from Andrew Gaboret. It seems that next year, Flames of War will be focused on the Pacific and perhaps Italy. Given the inclusion of the Scandinavian theatre, what do you think the focus for Team Yankee will be? The Balkans, Northeast Asia, or Africa? ?
We got our 2 books. That's all we're gonna get. Like it and lump it.
You think that's it? It's done?
No, it shouldn't be. I think there's loads more you can do with Team Yankee. I just always get worried at Battlefront. Don't quite know what they want to do with Team Yankee.
Well,
it does seem to be a little bit of a throw it all around and see what sticks.
As well, the timeline keeps wing-wanging around, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like Nordic Book has definitely gone back to being 1985, a little bit of 1991 in there. Like all the Finnish like Carnations and like Marksman are all stuff they bought off the East Germans after the fall, when East Germany was rapidly dissolving.
Yeah,
but there is more you could do with it. Like, we haven't touched the southern European theatre, like Turkey, Greece, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Italy. We haven't, Asia,
Spain,
Korea, that kind of things out there.
I mean, yeah, it depends how many new models they want to make to cover all the weird and wonderful.
So I'd hope, if they do. There's that thing they were doing with when version 4 went to late war and version 2 Team Yankee came out, where basically they released the D-Day British book and then the World War III British book came out. They did the D-Day German book and then the World War III German book came out.
Mm.
Yeah.
With the focus on Pacific for World War II, there's got to be at least some temptation to use that as a jumping off point for doing Pacific for Team Yankee as well.
What, Japan?
Yeah, like I say, Japan, South Korea, North Korea, China.
Yeah, you could do like a whole focus. We've done the Eastern Front, now we do the,
They're expanding Australia in the new NATO book, so that obviously that'd be a lot more appropriate there.
What? They're expanding Australia?
Yeah, so far as they're getting like Abrams and new like wheeled APCs. And in New Zealand to get a whole squadron of Scorpions rather than just a support unit.
Oh, thank God. That's just what they needed.
Yeah. Oh, my little Norwegian scorpions. New Zealand scorpions. So I think Pacific could be an interesting one for Team Yankee next year. We'll see. I like the idea, the idea of Battlefront sort of theming the release around Pacific, but I might be giving too much credit thinking that. So,
Do you think they'll go down well in the Chinese market?
It's hard to say.
That's what I'd be interested in. Because
I mean,
we know they've got a big player base.
we do, and there's obviously a fairly strong nationalistic streak with the Chinese these days. So having something to go shoot things up with. I mean, there was obviously that push to get Team Yankee into that market with the West Germany versus Best Germany box set they did.
Yeah,
Best Germany.
So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, no, it's good point. Who knows? Who knows what's next other than version 5?
I mean, there's got to be a version 2 Oil Wars book coming out soon. If they're going to refresh Three Nations,
I guess. Yeah, what else can I squeeze in there?
maybe
get
get
the
your
Carver Mark 3 and Mark 4 in the 120mm.
maybe you get your Polynesian Canoe Wars. In the Pacific book.
Get some war canoes going on.
Yeah.
War canoes. Speaking of war canoes, Chris Jensen asks, "Hey guys, in the German Berlin book, you can take 6 Clausewitz armoured 7.5cm tank hunter half tracks for 18 points, which is the 251 with a
Pack 40.
Pack 40 on top.
Mhm.
I know they may not be the best choice for 18 points, but if you were dead set on using the platoon of 6 in a game, how would you use them? I'm thinking of using them in ambush, and I'm hoping to destroy whatever they have in their sights with the 12 shots, since they don't really have armour."
Absolutely. It's all about the Alpha Strike.
No. See, I disagree.
Okay, good.
I think that's what your opponent thinks you're going to do.
Oh god.
And they're better ambushing platoons.
Like
Hitler Jurgen.
Obviously that's like
that's
number
the
one.
ultimate ambush choice, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are still hit on 4s, and they're still veteran, and they have a 10-inch tactical move.
All true.
Right? Yes, they have no armour, but veteran sees your armour.
Okay.
So with these, I think you have 2 choices. First of all, depending on the terrain, if you have the option to stick them in a wood, but more than 2 inches from the edge.
What's your cross?
3+.
Is it free for a half track?
It's 3+, according to Forces of War. You either stick them in a wood within 2 inches, remain gone to ground. This is dependent upon them not having great artillery, because you are top armor 0. But with 6 of them, you can spread them out, hopefully enough that you'll mitigate the number of hits. Maybe. And you can just area deny them, because no one's going to willingly drive into the front of those 12 shots. With most things. Especially not because you've got late war options of super duper stuff. Or, conversely, you put them behind the wood, and then you start going super aggro with them. Because that is a hideous number of shots to get into the side of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go super aggro with them down one side, it frees up, you now all of a sudden you've got your ambush platoon for the other side of the board. And there's not many things that can actually deal with 6 armoured hulls that are veteran, especially if you have terrain and especially if you're main gun to ground in cornfields or things like that. Because that's the problem I seem to struggle with my late war forces, when especially against the flak-verlings, whatever they are, the flak drillings.
The drillings, yeah.
The drillings. You're like, right, these are going to mess up my infantry, but my anti-tank shots, I just don't have enough dice to roll at them to hit them and then get the firepower hits. Especially against a platoon of 6. Because you sit there and go, right, I've killed 3. Great, I've got 3 more. That's 3 pack 40s that are now in your side armour. And you're in the open because of where I've positioned them, because you're being aggressive and I'm defensive. And I'm now, blitzing on the 3+. Oh, look, I've now got clear lines of sight to you. That's 6 pack 40 shots into your side armour. Oh, that's your platoon of 3 Shermans or whatever, dead. There is a thing to be said. Yes, they are 18 points, but there's 6 of them. Oh my god, that's really hard wearing unit.
Well, how many points are pack 40s as well? Because that seems pretty cheap for 3 unpinnable or 6 unpinnable
Yep.
mobile pack 40s.
They are reluctant.
Oh
But,
no!
oh well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that only matters if you start getting casualties in.
Yeah, if you're dead.
Exactly. Armored gun. I'm trying to find out what pack 40s are.
I think if they take
Are they support?
if they're not information, as in you
They're
can't
support.
take any. Yeah.
They are support. 4 pack 40s, standard confident veteran carefuls are 15 points.
I'd rather have the 6 armored ones for
Yeah.
3 points more.
For 3 points more, you get 2 more guns that can drive around with a 10-inch tactical. Holy crap.
It can't be pinned.
Yep.
It's the
Don't have to reroll saves if they get hit by repeat bombardment.
Still a silly roll.
Yeah, I know.
I think that you've got options there. Definitely got options.
You've got options. Yes, you can't be if you don't have the terrain. And a lot of this comes down to the difference in terrain, doesn't it? If you're playing on a billiard table, the pack 40s are better because they're concealed in the open.
Yeah, they're not going to get killed.
They're not going to get hit. If you've got the terrain, then the half tracks become so good.
Yeah, behind it rather than in it as well.
Yep, behind it, move round it.
Because don't forget, it's 6 shots moving.
And don't forget, that 3+, that gives you an extra 8 inches per turn because you're German. So you can blitz, tactical, and then stormtrooper. And all of a sudden, you're now moving 18 inches a turn. Because that's the other thing that you miss out on being a gun team is you can't do that. Whereas at least with the, you can blitz 4 inches, move 10, fire 6 shots of pack 40s, and then move another 4 to be out of line of sight for return fire on a 3+. It's very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
All those half tracks are tasty. The Panzer Grenadier unit is still bloody strong.
Exactly. It's very nice. That is the end of An Officer Answers.
There you go.
Hoorah.
Some good questions, sis.
Hoorah. Some good questions. Yeah, thoughtful. Thought-provoking. Not that insightful, but nevertheless.
Answers, not so much.
Not so much. Are we on to events?
I think we are, yeah.
The home stretch. Excellent. Last weekend, which was the 15th, 16th of July, was Attack at Devices. I want to say congrats to Ian for winning. Ian Brook, well done. Very, very good. A commendable mention to Jersey James for coming third. Paul, we came second. I don't think you listened anyway, but whatever.
Well, if he doesn't listen, we don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're not a patron.
No.
Like, why would I bother?
Special.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. And Mike Clucker, a.k.a. Santa, thank you for running it. I wish I was there. Yeah, exactly.
I always forget about Devices,
I've been there once. I went there once with Ben.
In the school?
Mm-hmm. It was really good. It was a very, very fun. That was one of the first buying basing tufts at the tournament and gluing them on the bases as I deployed my early war British. It was one of the first version 4 early war conversion games I played. Tournaments I played, which is where I had Rex, who put so many T-26, the little Vickers tanks, 6-ton Vickers. He had so many that I killed them all with my Matildas. I literally couldn't drive down the street across his corpses to get to the objective. So he won the game, blocking all avenues to the objectives with dead tanks.
It's the Soviet way.
Yeah, exactly. That was apparently a thing back then.
Who knew?
I'll be up for going for that next year, actually, if things work out. It's a bit of a wait, but it's a good little show as far as I'm concerned, if my memory serves. 4th, 5th, and 6th of August, which is also close. Oh my God, it's the ETC mid-war.
How's that painting coming, Eddie?
Yeah, it's great. You mean building?
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those. I'll get it done. It's fine. It's not like
hold on. What do you need to borrow? Because you probably need to write that down.
No, I have. Luckily enough, Team England are fastidious in their collections of Flames of War stuff, so I've got things to borrow if I really need to, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not even considering that as an option
Okay.
until it becomes a necessity, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I'm going to get my stuff done, hell or high water. The same weekend, the 5th of August, there is a Flames of War charity gaming tournament at Gajo Games in Utah. It's 100 points.
In where?
Utah Saints.
Utah, USA, USA, Utah in America. So 100-point Flames of War mid-war. That's it. There you go, mid-war
Ooh.
tournament.
Saucy.
Yeah. If you need to know
mid-war.
more, message us on the Facebook and we can find out more information there. The 19th of August is Salt Lake Open, also in Utah. That's 111 points late war.
Is 171 points the new select standard?
111 points is a recurring theme at the moment in tournaments.
Just feel like it.
I don't
I
like
quite
it.
like it. No, I quite like it. You don't like it?
No, anything over 100 points makes me go oogly boogly.
Is that because you have not got to make any hard choices and you can put everything you want in a list?
Yeah, it also makes me go oogly boogly if you can't divide it by 4 or 3 or whatever it is. I can't remember.
What does that make the reserves?
Well, that's what I mean. It makes it an odd
44.
number, so you have to round up or down.
Say again, Lee?
45. I think you have to have 45 points off.
45 off.
It's 44.4, so you have to sort of round it up.
Yeah, you have to round up because you can't have more than 60 on.
Correct.
That's
what I mean.
Yeah.
Oogly boogly. Don't like it. Upsets my chi.
111. The 23rd and 24th of September is the Flames of War UK Nationals at Battlefield Hobbies. It's mid-war. It's 101 points. I was planning to go. I don't know if I can at the moment because I am moving house, but we will see.
When is it?
It's the 23rd and 24th of September.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, life, money, drain, spending in a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I want to go because I get to actually use the models I'm about to build and paint. The 11th and 12th of November is Warfare Reading at Farnborough, which is 171 points again for late war. Subsequent to last episode, in the space of a week, there are no chess clocks. They are being shelved for this particular tournament because of the recreational outrage.
I think they should have run it. I think it would have been hilarious. I'd have played it.
I think it's a case of I've been on both sides of the fence, for and against, lots and lots over. Long story short, I don't know what problem it's trying to solve. Don't think we have that problem.
Yeah, it's more faff and not
version
game.
3. I would have totally agreed and been like, "Oh my god, a chess clock would have solved so many of my ill feelings from the games that I used to play."
Mm-hmm.
But version 4, if we've timed out, it's because I didn't get it done quick enough as the attacker.
No, what about if it's just the objectives only go live on turn 6 games?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. The games have either been won or lost way before then.
I don't like them.
What version 4 game have you played where you've gone, oh, we've only played 3 turns?
Loads. So tournament games, loads, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You have done the bottom of the tables, though, aren't you?
Yeah. But that's what I mean. It actually constricts your army selection as well. If you're going to play infantry, you got to play fast. So that's what I do. But, not everyone does.
Yeah.
And if I can't get to turn 6, I can't win, which means that you've got an advantage over me because if I can't get to my victory condition...
there's no advantage. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Well, there is an advantage.
There's no advantage because you both lose.
Yeah, but there is an advantage because you can win. I can't win if I can't get to turn 6.
No, but neither can they because they can't drive you off the objective. There's no missions anymore that I'm aware of where the defender can win before the attacker can. So it's a mutual loss, and I think the people that I know of that are renowned slow players are finally starting to realise that they can't be. I'm going to sit here and slow play and not try to win the game because oh god, I've already lost.
I just thought it was interesting. I came
I
around to the
thought
idea.
it was interesting. I think it's like 3 years too late.
It's just another
I think
format.
it's just solving a problem that doesn't
Well,
exist.
apparently, we get to it, the actual next tournament after the warfare at High Wycombe. They are going to try to test up the clocks out. So.
Oh, good.
And I mean, it adds time as a resource, which isn't a problem that Flames of War has at the moment. And at the same time, it opens up a lot more abuse. Because
I still think, you suffer because the division of time in Flames of War is not even.
That's the point. It's not Kings of War. There are things that I can, if I sit there and debate a line of sight with you during your turn, when do you pause your clock?
When you call the judge over.
Well, do you?
Yeah.
That has to be that has to be written down. That's not in the rules pack. That's the thing. It opens up a whole massive can of worms of how you manage that clock for marginal benefit, if that makes sense.
How's that?
The clock itself is more open to abuse than the actual slow playing of the game. And slow playing of the game, in my opinion, or my view, isn't as much of an issue as it was previously. So you add more issues by adding this new variable than you do resolving by adding the variable. But like I say, this is all Theory Hammer, and I think that as a podcast, we should play a couple. I think we should play a couple of games with a chess clock in reverse, but blindsided to us, if that makes sense.
All right, so we see how it goes at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So we play with a chess clock for our turn and the attacker and defender's turn, but it's counting up, and we don't know who's actually done the most time until the end, and then we look at it and go, oh, okay.
That would be interesting.
To see what the actual in a normal game, what the dispersion of time is for particular missions that we know time is an issue.
Mm-hmm. I think next episode we'll have to start talking about what list we're planning to take.
For warfare?
Yeah.
But mine's top secret.
Oh, God.
Not even I know.
Mine's Basij.
The next tournament we have is a twofer. So 2nd and 3rd of December, we have a World in Flames 2, the Flames of War Late War at Tabletop Republic High Wycombe, 191 points Late War, and that's the one you said that is the chess clock. Is using chess clocks.
I'm talking to Harry, yeah.
Interesting. At the same weekend is the Iberian tournament in Madrid, España. Flames of War Late War version 4. Dun, 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 then we go to 2024. We have the Icelandic Nationals 2024 Operation Polar Bear 7 in Reykjavik in February 17th, 2024. See Facebook for more details.
I still think we should do that.
I really want to. We'll see what we can do. The 8th and 9th of June 2024 is the Barn Bash 80th D-Day patron event.
So, become a patron before then.
Become a patron before then. Invite only.
Exclusive
Yeah.
sausage. Mm-hmm.
Patrons and barn denizens, basically. So,
well, they're de facto patrons because they listen to us whistle on about it in real life enough.
Yeah. But yeah, so one of the things that came up recently is that our sponsors at Frontline Terrain are going to do a demo table for what's it called, 101st Manor, taking up the artillery.
Breakcourt.
Thank you. They're going to do a Breakcourt Manor table using all their terrain, all the terrain
I beg to differ.
Okay.
Saint Marie Anglais, 82nd.
Oh, was it? That's what. Sorry, that's it.
Breakcourt Manor would just be a load of gun pits, which I could do myself. They are recreating, from what I can see, the majority of Saint Marie Anglais, and then we're dropping the 82nd into the middle of it and having people hanging from bell towers.
Yeah, the proper airborne
buildings. Proper airborne.
Airborne, not 101st.
And it just the CAD drawing I've seen just looks absolutely bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, this would be a little side game. And we're like, will it? Oh my God, this is something you'd only see a snapshot of normally.
So we need American paratroopers done?
Well, we've got some, haven't we? Thanks, Seb.
Yeah, I've got a platoon. No, other thing, company.
Yep.
So yeah,
Interesting.
it's shaping up. Well, like I say, over the next few months, we'll have more details on that. We'll start getting some sign-up sheets out. We'll try and get a good international contingent over.
Yep, lots of different people have been coming together. So Samir and Glees on one board, ridiculous square footage of Normandy beachfront on the others. I want to get my British done. Obviously, we'll probably still have the Ham and Jam Pegasus board running as well, because I don't see why we wouldn't. And just a ridiculous D-Day extravaganza for the 80th anniversary of the most insane military operation that I can think of.
Since Caesar crossed the Danube.
Yep. Is that it then, boys?
I think
so.
Shooting and scooting time.
Yeah. What are we going to be? Swedish, Finnish, Danish?
Well, okay, that's a good point. I was going to...
Oh, God. Lee's dead.
No.
Lee's dead.
Terrain.
My bits box just falling over.
No. What's the most weird thing you can put together out your bits box pieces that are on the floor now, Lee?
Yeah.
There's also like ram kangaroo holes in there. So.
Oh, God.
Is it a ram kangaroo with a 105mm gun?
Yeah. Is it Whoa, Black Betty, Bambaram? Bambaram.
So what we shooting scooting as?
Well, I was gonna say we're gonna be veteran half tracks with Pack 40s on top. However, this is the de facto
second part of the Nordic.
Nordic.
So we were trained Danish last time. We're going to be veteran Finns this time.
Yep.
Do it.
One.
Fail. There we go. Every time.
It's veteran. I tell you, veterans. That's why I don't play veteran armies anymore.
It's the inverse. It totally is.
Darren, can you send this stuff through to Phil, please, and tell him to repoint?
Can you tell him to repoint veteran and reluctant troops and green troops?
They are not the same.
These two things are not the same.
No, one is considerably better. Yeah.
The Armoured Train Record podcast you've been listening to is Shoot and Scoop, Flames World podcast, and the team of Breakthrough Assault and Credit UK. It's brought to you by support from Battlefield Hobbies, Dice of War, Frontline Terrain, and the average German class size from 1945.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's high 20s.
What life expectancy?
Exactly, like that. That's what I'm reading. Yeah.
You got so we got to run this. We know what we're talking about.
Yep. So Internet Famous, Face to Space is news from the front if anyone's actually played anything.
Nope.
That's the thing to talk about the game I'm going to be playing tomorrow.
A forward-looking
forecast, the wargaming forecast. And now a new segment, the wargaming forecast with Lee Parnell.
I'm going to win.
How badly was I wrong? Yes.
Delayed reserves, turn 4.
We'll then do UNO's Army,
turn 6.
Officer Answers, events, and Shoot Scoot.
It's a shipping forecast.
Dogger 7.
Rising.
Westerly, rising.
Westerly, rising.
Not West, not Westy. That's a different
Westy.
one. Westy rising.
Class 20B, diminishing. Becoming nil.
None. There's loads of them. You leave them alone.
IS-2 advancing, becoming. Foul.
What do you think the average class size was in 1945?
Teenage soldier.
And what was it in 1946?
Hold on. Seven, and one of them's a small duckhound called Kevin.
He just jangled round the corridor because of the amount of tank hunter badges he got.
I've got this grenade. Put that away.
Damn it, Ivan.
German class size 1945.
Wait, you just want to look at the German class of 1945 reunion photos.
Oh, here we go. The nature of German education required classes of a small size to allow full participation. Oh, there's even there's a white paper on it. Oh, how interesting.
Oh my god. Yes, we've won this war. What are we going to bring the people? Freedom? No, bureaucracy.
Well, you've seen the British Empire.
Yes. Bad tea, terrible teeth, and lots of paperwork.
Yep, it's what made Britain great.